everybody, and welcome! My name is Wishipow. I'm an eyebrow monster VTuber.
I'm Ferngles, the Decay Mage VTuber. Welcome to VisceRate, episode 1.
What?
Hold on. I got distracted. This is our horror podcast. We are very professional and very serious, by the way.
Very professional, very serious.
If you like the logo, Wishy and I have struggled for so long trying to come up with...
Oh my god, did we ever?
But I really like this one. I think we're going to keep it just like this. Just so everybody knows, this is a very mature podcast. If you would like to just switch the...
No, I did.
Okay, thank you. I can't see, so I keep going back and forth between like our VisceRate stuff and your stream, just because, well, you know, I don't have any visual. I don't have eyes, chat.
You don't have eyes.
But this is a podcast. It's a discussion between just two horror-loving best friends that connect with each other through these types of media. Our opinions are our own and shouldn't encourage you nor discourage you from trying the media mentioned. Every person has their own tastes, so if you disagree, then that just means we have different tastes, and we're doing this for fun. We're not owing anyone any specific opinions or forms of entertainment. We're just having chats with each other, right? We understand that the nature of like horror media, and we know it may contain sensitive matters such as violence, murders, SA, grotesquerie, torture, and so on. We understand that it's used to bring about sensations of fear and discomfort for the sake of storytelling, and we do not condone such things outside of a fictional narrative. You're going to be seeing today a lot of body horror media. Every single thing that we're discussing today, Color of Space, Akira, and Still Wakes the Deep, they all tie together in a very body horror and kind of almost science fiction kind of way.
Yeah, they kind of do.
So, just to be warned, all of our media kind of goes, is kind of more for a mature audience there. So this podcast is about horror media, beautiful, but we may have other things such as thriller mentioned or things that are not of the horror or thriller genres at all. Just to be transparent about that, as long as it has the vibes, we probably will review it. Akira itself is not a horror or a thriller, but it has aspects of body horror and dystopian horror that we think is enough to be put into this podcast.
Yeah, and we both just kind of really wanted to see it.
Yeah, we both. Yeah. So I have a confession to make. Actually,
What?
I did not watch Akira until this morning.
Oh my god, that is hilarious because I didn't watch Color Out of Space until this morning.
Oh my god.
Because, like, you have to rent or buy it off of Prime, and I was like, oh damn. So it took me a while.
We're on the same wavelength. I was waiting. I was just like, I have to tell Wishy at some point. I have to confess my sins because we've been planning this for like, what, 2 months now?
Yeah, a couple months now.
So I'm relieved. You also did not do your homework.
Yeah, I did, just very last minute, like you're supposed to.
Yeah, you're always supposed to do homework last minute, chat, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
I tried watching Akira last night, but then I was too tired. And so I just went to bed, and as soon as I woke up, I watched the rest of Akira. That's why I told you, Wishy, that
my god.
it's like, oh, we're gonna start chatting at around like 3 p.m. since our podcast's at 4. It's because I was also stalling for time.
Oh my god. just so you can see Akira.
So I can watch it for the podcast today.
Yeah, like at 8 a.m. this morning, I was like, damn, I gotta watch Color Out of Space. And so I'm like, oh, okay, let's go watch it.
No, I love that. Thank you so much for being on the same wavelength as me. So chat, this is why we're best friends. Not only because we love horror media,
Maybe
but
because
also
we procrastinate.
we're procrastinating lazy assholes. Oh, beautiful.
Well, that's perfect for the next slide. Meet our crowd.
Wishy, you're the first on the slide. You go first. You tell. What do you love about horror? Why did you get into it?
Why I love horror so much? I like it for many different reasons. I like horror because I like scary things. I've always liked scary things. I like the thrill it gives me, like a good scare. And I feel like horror, like as a medium, has a lot of interesting stories to tell. Because a lot of horror games, like, because you know, like there's action games, there's adventure games, like they don't necessarily have to be story-based. But with horror, there's usually story-based, and they usually have such a really unique story to tell, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's a big reason I like horror. I've just always been into the creepy. I've always been into the macabre.
You've just been drawn to it.
Yeah, I've just been drawn to it. Even when I was like a kid, I really liked it. And yeah, I like the stories it tells through the medium. Like, there's so many interesting ways and like different ways of storytelling within horror itself. Like such unique ways, as we're going to discuss with some of the films and the game today. Like, the storytelling is unbelievable with like how dark it can get, but also just with how they portray certain things.
Yeah.
And that is why I like horror.
No, I totally understand you with that, because like to get into like horror itself isn't, I think like a lot of people when they think about horror, they think about like the scare aspect kind of thing, right? But the thing with horror is like horror can be like discomfort.
Yes.
Horror can be disgust, discomfort, and also things that like actually like make your skin crawl or like trigger your fight or flight response kind of thing, right? And in order to do that, you have to build a lot of like either tension or story. With characters and stuff, you have to really get like attached to them in order to feel like the dread of, I don't want this person to suffer, I don't want this person I want this person to like make it out of this slasher alive, you know? You have to have like, you have to build either some sort of like connection emotionally, or you have to build some sort of like tension in order for a lot of like horror or thriller to like work, and I really like that. I really like how horror, for me, can make me feel like a wide array of like different human emotions. Right? It makes me feel, after like I watch like a horror that makes me feel very like like icky. It's kind of like cathartic, because like I feel afterwards I am safe, I am happy, like I'm so glad.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Right? But also I really like how, because I'm ADHD, it gives me so many of those like what is it? Like all the good chemicals.
The dopamine?
Yeah, like it gives me like a burst of like adrenaline sometimes, because you know it is supposed to like trigger like your fight or flight or something like that, right? But stuff with that, like it also gives me I don't know, it's like how people really like going on roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah, like the thrill.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right?
The thrill of it. But yeah, like, I agree with, like, horror and its stories, like, giving you a wide range, like, a whole spectrum of emotions. Because honestly, at the end of some horror games, I bawled my eyes out. Like, they just, like, you get so connected to the characters on a different level.
I feel like it also needs to be said that Wishy's more of the horror gamer, while I am the horror, like, media watcher.
Yeah, you more so watch the horror movies, I more so play the horror games.
Yeah, because, like, you mostly got into horror because of, like, the games and stuff, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's been, like, a lifelong journey, because, when I was, like, what? Like, just a wee babby. A weein.
A wee fern.
a wee Ferngles. My mother and my auntie used to watch Night of the Living Dead together in the living room.
Oh my god.
And then, you know what? They were having a great time, and I was just a babby, so, you know, it's just like, you know, oh, you know, you go play. But I was just like, are those zombies? What are those? Why are they? Whoa!
Whoa, what are those?
And then the first time, like, I actually, like, got to watch a horror movie with my mom, I think this is all my mom's fault, because she loves horror. We watched, what was it, Ginger Snaps together?
Oh my god, Ginger Snaps!
Yeah, we watched Ginger Snaps together when I was like 10 or something, and then she let me watch all of her werewolf movies after that. After that, I had, you know, way back in like the early 2000s, people had their like portable DVD players?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a pink one. And guess what I would watch on that? I would only watch like 2 or 3. I had 4 movies. I had 4 movies that I would watch on that. Guess what the 2 horror ones were?
Damn. Evil Dead? Like Evil Dead, like, you know, Ash? I'm pretty sure that would probably be one of them. And you did say Ginger Snaps, so probably Ginger Snaps.
So it was War of the Worlds.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
I love War of the Worlds. You know how kids watch the same thing over and over and over and over again? Because
yep, I know that well.
I would pop War of the Worlds into, or the second one was Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers.
It's another werewolf movie. But I'd pop one of those into my little DVD player, and I'd fall asleep to that.
Oh my god, nice. No, my family was never into horror. Like, even the smallest little horror-related thing, like, my parents flip out. So I don't even know how I managed to find it. But I've always been into it for as long as I remember.
you just saw the aesthetic. Your little alt heart, your little alt soul was just like, hey, check this shit out, and you're just like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah. I guess so, because I don't know how I became like so into it.
It was just written into your destiny, I guess.
Yes, into my DNA. It's like, you will like horror.
Exactly. But yeah, because there's like so many things, right? There's so many ways that like horror can like play upon your emotions and stuff, that I'm just kind of like, this is what it's what like calms me, I guess. If I am having a bad time or something, right? I'll watch a horror, and the horror is such a bad time that afterwards I feel fine.
You're like, at least I'm not that person. At least I'm not them.
Or you know, something is like really ailing me, and it's just like, you know, because with a whole bunch of like psychological horrors and stuff, right? A person will have like a lot of mental distress. Yeah. And you know, if I'm going through a time of like mental distress and I watch something like that, it also makes me feel like samesies.
So mood.
Right? And so then I feel a little bit better after that, you know?
No, I get you for sure. I don't really, it's just a feeling in my soul that's like, ah yes, horror tickles my brain in just the right way.
For real. Sometimes you can't even like describe it. You're just like, yeah, this is my
Yes.
jam.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I just went, oh. That's about it.
Yeah, no, that's the vibe. For horror, there's like a lot of, I know you go on about tropes and stuff all the time.
Yes.
Especially with your video game horrors. The stuff about like toilets and apparently getting your dick chopped off.
Surprisingly, there's a lot of horror games with that.
For real.
Surprisingly.
What kind of like horror tropes do you love? What do you hate?
Oh my
or
goodness.
just like things that come to mind that you really want to talk about.
Oh, there is a lot of horror tropes, let me tell you. I kind of want to make a tier list of them eventually.
Oh my god.
With how many there are. I'm trying to think. Like, what horror tropes I love and what I don't. Damn, that's actually kind of a hard one.
Well, it could also be
genres
because
okay.
like just the expanse of just horror tropes, genres, things that come up a lot in like, horror. Yeah.
Well, for genres, I for sure like psychological horror the best. I like stuff that messes with your mind, makes you think.
Yeah.
Like, I love horror games and stuff that just make you think and you have to sit on it for a while. You know? Like, you just sit there after you play a game and you're like, oh! And you're like, I gotta ponder this. That's my favorite for a genre for sure. I also really like atmospheric. I like when horror can get you, like you feel like you're there. You feel like you're in it. Because of like how good they set the tone of the atmosphere. What I don't like is I don't like jump scare horror. But like I'm fine with jump scares in horror, obviously that's a thing. But I don't like it when that's all it is. That's all there is to it, is jump scares. It just gets overplayed. So I really do not like the FNAF games for that reason.
Because like, you know, you're sitting there, and then you get jump scared.
Yeah, it's just jump scares over and over, and it's like, there's really nothing to it. Like, I like the lore of FNAF and all, but it's just jump scares. I don't like that, and I don't like, a horror trope, which a lot of horror games and movies use this, is they use SA in them, like, for shock value.
Yeah. Like, I get it, because, like, stuff like that is horrific. It is, it does make you, like, discomforted. And for those reasons, yes, it is horror. But when it's used purely for shock value...
Yeah, that's what, like, there's horror games I've played that do have that topic, that serious topic. But they do it so well. Like, and they do it respectfully. But there's also games I've played that have that, and there's no reason for it being there other than to shock you.
Yeah.
And that is it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, because, for me, I feel like that's, like, the only type of horror that I really don't like, is just when it's just bam, shock value. Because what we've been talking about, Silver, is, like, we really like how, horror can really build up, like, with the emotions and the atmosphere and the tension and just, like, the whole kind of, like, really enveloping you, I guess. But when it's just stuff like that, it's like, bam, done, kind of thing. A lot of, like, shock horror does, like, stick with me, but it's never in, like, it doesn't, with horror, it's either, like, you use it for, kind of entertainment, or you use it for, like, kind of, like, emotional relief and release, or you use it for, like, to kind of, like, make a point. Some people use, like, shock horror just to, like, to make a statement or make a point, and I understand those.
Yes.
But when it's literally just for, like, the sake of inducing trauma,
Yeah.
like, it's not any of those other three things, then I do not enjoy that. I know that, like, it's out there, some people may enjoy just, like, feeling, like, a shock sometimes, but I feel like I need, like, a little bit more than just that. I think I need, like, either
Agreed.
a reason behind it, or, some sort of, like, relief from it as well.
Yeah, because I am perfectly fine with, like, those sensitive topics being used, as long as they're used in a way that makes sense to the story and are not just in there for the sake of it being in there.
No, I totally agree. So that one is my least favorite also. If we're going with favorites, back on the positivity train here, I really love gore and body horror.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say body horror too.
I know, that's what brings it. I think for both of us, we really just like psychological and body horror the most. But I also really do love, like, just monster horror and slashers a lot.
Oh yeah, those are good ones. I mean,
Dude, for real.
You can look at our, like, designs that are up on the slide right now. I wonder if we like body horror.
Us? No. Also, chat, if I look different from, that thing up there, my new chibi model is going to be done by the end of this week. So I'll have it for the next one.
Yeah, the next one for it to look a little different.
Just a little.
Just stares at Fern's bones.
Don't look at my bones. Don't look at them. There ain't nothing on them. That's the most bare naked a person could be, is when you see their bones.
Oh my lord.
It's a good thing it's just my hands.
Good thing it's just your hands.
It's like I'm not wearing gloves. Don't let me into your local Wendy's.
Don't let me into your local Wendy's. Also, chat, we are not really talking to you guys much, because this is a podcast. We like to try and keep a nice flow, so I forgot to mention that. So if we're not responding much to you guys, that is why. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I am reading the messages.
Actually, because of chat, religion-based horror.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit to chat, but yeah, if we're not super responsive, that is why.
For like if you're like religion-based horror, if you're talking about things like stuff including demons and stuff, I love that. But if it's like stuff that's like kind of like psychological or existential kind of stuff while like religion is brought up, I've never I don't have that, like what is it? My friends who were once religious who are now non-religious, they say like something about like religious shame or something.
Oh.
Or like they have like some sort of like, I don't know. I've never grew up like religious. I've never been.
No, me neither.
I did research a lot about many different religions when I was like in my teens, because I was curious and stuff. But when anything like that comes up, I'm just like, oh. If somebody says that like I'll be punished or something for liking horror, I'm just like, okay. Stuff like that. So I don't get anything from that, because I've just never known,
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on that topic, because I also do not.
No, we're just like, oh.
Shoot. I forgot my train of thought. But anyways, horror love and lovin's done, unless you have more to say on the topic.
I have a neck thing.
Oh yeah, you do.
I don't mind gore. I don't mind violence. If there's like torture or something on the screen, I'm just kind of like, here we are. But when it's like it has anything to do with the neck specifically, I will lose my shit.
I felt so bad, like, if we're watching something and it has a neck thing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Fern, I didn't know, I forgot!
See, and that's it's really weird, because if somebody, like, gets decapitated or something, I'm like, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatevs. But, what movie was it? It was, zombie movie, war movie. There's a lot of war movies that are zombie movies.
There is, actually.
Overlord?
Maybe?
Fern changed thy name? No?
No?
Me, I'm still Ferngles. Yeah, it was Overlord. There's this one scene where this guy, like, he had his, like, neck snapped or whatever, but you could see his, like, spine at the front of his neck when it was, like... I got the biggest, like, nopers, heebie-deebie-jeebies, like, I can't handle it.
You're like, no thanks.
Yeah, for real. I was just like, I don't think, I just need a minute to process. And it took me, It took me like a whole, because I was watching it with my family or something. And I was just like, hold on, I need to go to the bathroom. And they're just like, okay, we'll pause it. And like I sat in the bathroom like processing the neck thing for like a good like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and they're just like, they're like, you good in there? And I'm like,
no.
yeah, I'm good. And then we watched the rest of Overlord. And it was pretty cool. Like there was like at one point like there was a decapitated zombie head that was like, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whatever. But that neck thing, dude. Nah.
Yeah, I sometimes forget you got a neck thing, so if we watch something with it, I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Well, it's just like, if I have like a warning and I know that like it's coming or something, then I'm like, I'm prepared.
Yeah, that's
But if
fair,
I'm not
that's
prepared,
fair.
then I'm just like, I have to process.
That is valid. I don't think I have anything like that personally, but yeah, like I feel so bad if we watch something and I forget it has something like that. I'm like, no! Bird, I'm sorry. I feel so bad.
It's okay, man.
Okay.
All right. So now we get into the actual, the actual podcast where we're actually talking and ranking and reviewing things.
All right. Let me just. Boop. We're going to our first topic, which is color out of space.
Bum bum.
Bum bum.
So. This one has Nicolas Cage in it. And I did not take it seriously at first, but I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, I'll say he plays a good crazy person.
For real. I feel like we've watched a couple of horror movies. Well, I guess
he's in a lot.
Yeah, we've watched a couple together with Nicolas Cage, and you know, I don't know why I'm like surprised or why I don't take things seriously when I hear he's in it anymore, because like every single one he's been pretty good.
Oh no, like he's been very good. It's interesting because he's like everywhere in a bunch of like indie horror movies, like everywhere. He plays so many. Like I could list like a bunch right now.
He's usually a dad.
Yeah, he's usually a dad, and he's usually insane.
Yeah, for real. Is he being typecasted now?
I don't think he just takes any role anymore. I think he's more picky now, but before he used to do anything. And he's like all over a lot of indie horror films.
Yeah. So for Color Out of Space, let's just go for the just summary here.
Yeah.
So this is like the summary that is official. My summary is...
Yeah, you could do your summary. You don't have to do the official one.
My summary is, hey man, whole bunch of like, Americans doing their thing, moving into a farmhouse with, what was it, alpacas or sheep?
Alpacas.
With alpacas? I was like, hey yo!
Alpacas!
And there was like, there's this like weird eldritch thing going on because there was like, what was it, a meteor?
Yeah, it was a meteor that crash landed, and there was like a color that flashed that was like no other color ever seen before. And then it kind of affects everything around it.
Yeah.
And mutates
and then
it.
It holds itself up in a well.
Yes.
That is our summary. Thank you very much.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for like the description of it. A family of 5 move or at a house to escape the city life and color bad.
There's good old dad Nicolas Cage.
Good old dad Nicolas Cage.
His waifu. 2 sons.
And 1 daughter.
And 1 daughter. The daughter is very witchy.
Very, very witchy. Very witchy.
Hello. And at one point, this is my favorite part. Good old Tommy Chong is there.
Yeah!
I love Tommy.
I know.
He's just some crazy guy that lives in their property or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Alright, let's go on to the warnings and genres.
Yeah.
So, I can read them out. So the genres of Color Out of Space is more cosmic horror, eldritch horror, body horror, and existential horror. Some warnings for said movie are there's body horror, obviously, violence, and self-harm. But like the self-harm is very minimal, but it still is something we need to put in. Because it can be very triggering.
I just took a drink out of my drink and I watched my model go crazy. I'm sorry. I was just so amused by that.
No, I feel that. But
with the body horror in Color of Space, Out of Space, it was
God.
like the best like what I really like about a lot of like body horror things is practical effect.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Because with practical effects, it gives this like weird, gooey, kind of like uncanny valley texture to things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's just like CG or effects that are just computer effects. You know, it makes things look more realistic, I guess. But the thing is, like, with horror, I don't want things to be realistic. I want that kind of, like, uncanny valley, kind of weird, surreal effect. Exactly, Paige.
Yes!
Like, it's like, it's just so, it's weird and it, like, adds to it. So when I saw the body horror in Color Out of Space, which is, you know, we'll get to it when we discuss the entire thing. I was really happy with it because it was gross.
It was, but it was so good.
For real. Just if we go on to the next slide, then we can just start chatting about it.
All right.
Okay, Wishy, you sound riled up. You were the one who watched it this morning.
Yeah, I watched it this morning, so it's fresh in my brain. Damn, what is there to say? I actually quite enjoyed this movie a lot. Like, it was very interesting. I like that, like the slow descent into madness that they have. Like, it starts so normal, and then steadily just gets more and more and more messed up as it goes. Like,
yeah, no, the build-up was so good. Like,
yeah. The build-up was really good. to like what happened in it, which I mean we can discuss that now because we're in spoiler territory.
We are in spoilers.
But my goodness, that build up for the ending was so good. Like, I really enjoyed that. Because, like, everything starts so normal, and then all of a sudden, when the meteor starts coming down, and that flash of color, and starts messing with everything, like, as it lands, you can tell it starts affecting them in different ways. Like, Nicolas Cage's character starts smelling what he can describe as, like, death, basically. He can smell it, and nobody else can. The sun starts talking to imaginary creatures, and like you can tell it affects them in different ways. And then the subtle foreshadowing of like showing the water at every chance they could get in every shot, like you could tell from the beginning of the movie something's up with that water throughout.
Yeah. It's like they're slowly getting like more and more like contaminated or poisoned by it, kind of thing, you know?
Yes.
There was a scene kind of close to the beginning, like after because like the meteor comes down. They're out in like the middle of nowhere in their farm, right?
Yes.
Like it's like what, like for the nearest hospital it was like what, an hour or two?
Yeah, it was an hour away from them, so they're cut off from everything, so they can't really see how messed up things truly are getting. And
because the meteor comes down, it cuts off their power.
Yes.
And stuff. Like, they have no contact, and they're at least an hour away out from everything, right? So that itself, it kind of, Wishy and I are from the middle of nowhere. So it kind of like, speaks to me. Like, of course we have neighbors and stuff, but I can totally get the whole being like isolated while this is happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly same, because like as a kid I used to live like in 36 acres of just pure bush, so like I could totally understand being cut off, because the closest thing was like an hour away from me too. So like that isolation, I feel that just adds to the fear of what's happening, and because they're so isolated from everything, they do not see how messed up things are getting slowly, and like they're cut off from it all, and it adds to that because the color affects power, it affects their phone lines, it affects the internet, it affects everything, like technology.
And when they're like out, because it's like the middle of the night, right? Of
Yes.
course, it's a horror movie. Of course, it's in the middle.
Of course, it's in the middle of the night.
But there was like this scene where I thought, because you know we don't know what the heck's going on, and it's kind of like extraterrestrial, right? Was the guy out there like the daughter's boyfriend or just friend or something?
Like outside when the meteor crashed?
Yeah.
He wasn't there. No, not Milton. Milton's the guy, I think his name's Milton. The water guy. Like he's not her boyfriend, but she had a crush on him. No, nobody was outside.
Somebody was outside, and I think it was because was it at the beginning when the meteor?
Well,
it was at some point, like they were outside because they were trying to figure out what the heck was going on, and it was like there was like an invisible force kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like toying with them, or like, you know, it was a scene that built a lot of tension for me, because I hate things that are invisible. So I thought at that point in time, because like we didn't know what was going on, that there were invisible aliens.
No, like it does a good job. What I think was happening, well, was happening is time works differently within that space that the color touches. So time worked differently, so it's messing with their heads. So like one moment it was day, and then one moment it was night. It was messing with their minds.
Yeah.
Because time just worked different there.
Yeah.
So that just added to the disorientation of it all, the horror of it all. Because, like, there would be one moment where, like, the older brother, would go and he went and fed the alpacas. And then he'd go back, and then all of a sudden, the alpacas are outside. And he's like, what? I just fed them. They should be in the barn. And then he brings them back into the barn. And then later the dad comes home, and the alpacas are out again. And he's like, didn't you feed them? Why are they out here? And he's like, I did, though. And it's because of, like, how it's messing with, like, their sense of time. And, like, everything. It's messing with, like, what their sense of time, what they see, like, everything. Because remember when the mom was, like, in a trance at the beginning because of that sound? And cut off her fingers?
Yeah. Because, stuff was going on. Everyone was, like, really stressed. The mom, I think, was mostly stressed because she felt like she had to keep things together.
Yes.
And then the Nicolas Cage papa was stressed because he felt like he had to just, like, he was, like, the one who, like, he's the man of the house kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And so he was increasingly, like, stressed and wanting to take care of his family, but in order to protect his family, he, like, eventually, like, destroyed it kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and he was so set on not being like his dad, too, which added to it. Because, later in the movie, like, that one scene where, like, the policeman and I believe his name's Milton or something, like, the water guy, I forget his name, like, they're over and they find the daughter locked up in the attic with the mother and son mutant, and Nicolas Cage just goes up and shoots him, and he's like, they're not my actual family, and then goes back down.
Yeah.
Because he thinks his family's all sitting with him in the living room at that point.
Yeah. He was just he just lost himself. I think everyone in this movie just slowly loses themselves. But yes, the body horror.
Oh boy.
Everything starts to get, like, really... Everything... The thing is, with body horror, everything usually just starts melding together.
Oh yeah. You can say that.
Well, like, just in general, when you have, because all three of the things that we're talking about today with the body horror, everything did just try to, like, you know, amalgamate.
Yeah.
So at one point, because, you know, everyone's getting all fricked up and things start not making sense for this family who has been drinking this well water, that whatever was in the meteor, the color or whatever, has affected specifically their well. That's kind of like a point of, like, center of a circle. The point of, like, radiation or something. It all just kind of, like, is collected in their well, and with what Wishy was saying earlier about, like, the son feeding the alpacas and stuff.
Yes.
Eventually, he does hear them in a lot of, like, the distress, and he walks in to the barn, and they're all, like, gross, meaty, fleshy creatures. It's like they're not what they were anymore.
And they're, like, melded together. They're like one creepy ass, like, 5-headed alpaca creature.
And it was disgusting.
Oh my god.
I loved it so much. For most of the movie, I was just sitting there watching it so far, and it was like slowly collecting, just like the stress and all these feelings and, like, the atmosphere. And when that happened, that for me was the whole, like, oh yeah.
that was the major turning point.
happening?
Because right after they discover the alpacas, that's when the color went off again, and that's when the mother and son got melded together into a mutant creature monstrosity thing.
Yeah, so just like the alpacas, the color also affected the mother and son like that. They've melded together in this
Oh my god, it looks so
terrible,
gross!
this terrible blob of flesh that is the mother is still kind of like there humanly. You can see more of her like human features, but the son is literally just like a face sticking out of her back.
Yeah.
And he's still like in there, which is terrible.
Oh my god, is it ever?
Because he's like in pain in this weird mold of flesh kind of thing.
What made it worse was their groaning. Like they were both going, oh, like in pain. Constantly.
Yeah, I would be groaning if I was a weird flesh thing.
Like they couldn't even speak anymore, and they were almost animalistic, because I remember when the daughter was giving her mom water in a bowl, she's licking it up like a dog.
Yeah. Earlier on, before all of this, like all the shit goes down and like the meat melding starts, the mother, like, did she actually cut off?
Yeah, she cut off two fingers.
Yeah, she was like cutting carrots or something.
Yep.
I don't know. And like she cut off her fingers, and that's why we know that the hospital or anything around them was like a couple hours away, because you know the parents tried to leave so that they could get the mother medical attention.
Yeah, they left for a while, and the kids were all left alone, and that's like when the two older kids figured out like something's not right and they need to leave immediately. Mm-hmm. But then when the dad comes back, he doesn't believe them.
Well, did they get to the hospital?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay.
But then they came home, and that's when stuff started really turning around.
You see, I haven't watched this since like June. So I'm a bit hazy on it. But yeah, I thought for some reason they like just like couldn't leave.
Oh,
At
no.
At the end though they couldn't, because they were all flesh melded monstrosity things.
Well, the mother and son were. Everyone else wasn't.
Leave. You can't just leave once your mother and brother/son are like,
yeah,
melded together. Like
but at that point in the end, it was too little too late, because like there was one point when the water guy was trying to take the daughter, and she said, no, I can't leave, this is home, I can't leave, because like he tried to get her to leave. There was also a point where the older brother and sister also tried to leave, like after the mother and the youngest became like a mutant.
Yeah,
like they tried to leave, but sadly they weren't able to, because it's almost like, because I remember the brother saying, basically, like the older brother, saying it was like a maze out there, and like they couldn't leave at that point.
Like, yeah, because as you said earlier, it got to the point where like it was night, it was day, they didn't know what was
messed
going
with
on.
Their minds.
It really messed with them, and so at that point, you know,
it was too late.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything. What I love also is whenever somebody describes a color that like isn't a color, like a color they've never seen before, they usually use like purple or magenta.
Like,
to like,
well, there's actually a reason for that. Like, I think there's like a scientific like reason for that. Well, why like, they mainly use that color.
I know like magenta is supposed to be kind of like what our mind kind of fills in for the gap in between, like, what is it, like red and violet on the color spectrum or something?
Yeah, something like that. But there is a reason why that color is used for that.
Yeah. So I was for Color Out of Space when they keep like seeing this color. It's purple, but you know that it's because you can't comprehend what it is, so they have to use purple.
Oh, and I really like in this one, like, the atmosphere was so good in this one, because, like, slowly, like, it's normal, and then it's slowly, like, these flowers start to bloom, and I remember the mother commented, oh, what are these flowers? I think they're perennials, and then slowly you see the background just slowly morph and change as well. Like, it gets more alien, is the best way to describe it. Because,
Yeah.
like, the grass starts to get that weird, like, violety purple hue. The insects get, like, this weird violety hue as well as look more mutated, too. Like, because I remember there was, like, what's the best way? A mantis that the youngest saw, like, hatch from the well. And it, like, looked so bizarre. Like, it looked like an insect you'd never seen before. And so on and so forth.
Yeah, I really like that. I remember sitting there and thinking about, you know, you know how I said earlier that I used to watch War of the Worlds a lot as a kid?
Yes.
In that movie, they actually have to make the world seem like it's turning very like alien. They got this weird plant, and they used it in a lot of their scenes.
Mm-hmm.
To make it look like, because the plant itself looks like organs kind of thing, right?
Ooh.
Here, let me just, I forgot that I forgot that I unplugged my keyboard in order to plug in my to plug in
No,
my,
it's fine. It's fine.
camera.
It's fine. You can show me after.
Yeah, I'll show you after. But it kind of reminded me of that. I really, really, really love, especially when it comes to like, you know, making things like alien and stuff, for them to change like the scenery and stuff like that as well, the backgrounds, and like to give it that extra detail. It brings me a lot of joy.
Oh yeah. No, they did a really good job with the atmosphere for sure. Like, it just steadily got more strange. And like there was almost like a haze and a fog that started to form too, which kind of added to like the disorientation, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you couldn't really tell if it was day or night at that point.
Yeah.
Also,
It was just great atmosphere.
oh yeah, no, I loved it. It was really good. The atmosphere was so good, and I also found it very interesting. What was I gonna say? Well, the daughter is the one that lasts the longest. She survives the longest. But that is because she threw up at one point. I feel. Because she threw up at one point when she was cleaning up what happened after the mother hurt herself. So that's why she's the very last one to disappear.
Because she wasn't drinking that icky well water.
Well, she was.
Well, she
but
was.
She threw up.
She froed up.
So
she
I think
froed up real bad.
That's a big reason as to why she also survived the longest. Because it was her and Nick Cage that survived the longest.
Yeah.
But Nick Cage kind of, like, you know, got shot.
You know, he was acting crazy.
Yeah, like, because there was a scene where, Waterboy was taking the oldest daughter away. And, Nick Cage had a gun at that point, and he was pointing at the well because he saw the colors start to come back up. But Cop Guy thought he was aiming it at Waterboy and shot him. Because, like, of how crazy he was acting.
Yeah. Well, like, everyone was just, like, in such a, like, very big, stressful mental haze that, you know...
Oh yeah, like...
Nobody trusted anybody. Everybody was in danger because of everybody else. It was really good. And then, like, at the very end, you know, it seemed so calm.
Oh my god. Like, at the end when, like, it almost, like, burnt everything up with it at the ending. So at the end, Waterboy's the only one left alive, and he hides in, like, the cellar, I would say? The wine cellar of the house. And then all of a sudden, the color... I don't know how to describe it. The color kind of, like, takes everything. It kills everything around it. Burnt everything up, so everything's, like, almost ash. There's, like, no color at that point in the end.
Yeah.
So, there was almost a sense of weird calmness after all that chaos.
For real. It's just, like, there was, like, a really big build-up, and then there was all of that weird body horror, stress, everyone's, like, freaking out, and then the color, the thing in the well. Yes?
I have an epiphany, because remember when the oldest son was, like, obsessed with space and stuff, and black holes? It was almost like a black hole, because it took everything, it killed everything in its surroundings, it, like, absorbed it, and the well was, like, kind of the center of it all.
Oh my god, the well is a black hole.
Well, yeah, because, like, the sun was, like, really into space, and I remember when, like, near when, the color was coming down, the sun was, like, with his dog, Sam, and was like, oh, you don't like black holes, because the dog started whining, because it could sense something was coming.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a black hole, in a sense. Like, with how it acted, and how it, like, killed everything around it. And, like, they were hinting at, like, the stench of death, because that's all Nicolas Cage could smell the entire time when he was there. And nobody else could. And the only one left to survive was Waterboy, which I found really neat, because he was, like, the narrator in the beginning of the film, too. Or it's revealed he's the narrator, and he's looking upon what used to be of that area. Because he's the only one who remembers what truly went down there. Because everyone else who was there got absorbed with it, got taken over by the color. Because Cop Guy was, sadly killed by the color too. Because one of the trees came down and grabbed him and absorbed itself in him. No, I really like it was a good movie. I just like the slow decline into, like, madness everyone took.
This was also inspired by, like, actual, like, H.P. Lovecraft, I believe.
Yeah, yes it is.
Yeah. Another thing before we get on with it, because I don't think we have a lot of points after this.
No.
Yeah. I really love, this is something that we didn't discuss, I love unseen horror.
Oh, yeah, I get what you mean, like, unexplained.
Well, it's just, like, also, we don't really see, like, unexplained, yes, but I also love not seeing whatever is, like, really, really affecting them, right?
Yeah.
Like, we never get to see that. And I don't know, it just it makes it, the fear of the unknown is something that I love as well. So Color Out of Space was really good because it makes us really hype. The effects were fantastic, the story was really good. And that's all I have to say about it, really.
Alright, should we get on to our ratings then of this one?
Are you ready? I need a drum roll, Wishy.
I'm drum rolling.
Okay, thanks. Wishy, for the psychological aspect of this film, out of 5, what would you rank it?
Oh, it is such a good psychological, I feel. So I would honestly, I'd give it a 4.
4 for the psychological?
I would give it a 4.
I would say the movie is mostly psychological.
Yeah, that's why I would give it a 4. Or a 4.5, honestly.
Yeah, I would also give it... You give it a 4, but I'll give it just a 4. I'm really stingy. I'm really stingy with it.
Yeah, I'll say a 4.5 because that's basically what most of the horror was.
Yeah, it was really a lot of like, just mind, like everything had to do with everything, in their mind, right? For violence, I would actually give the violence a high rating in this, just because, I would say a 3 actually. Just because of Nick Cage and him shooting his family.
And the alpacas. He shot the alpacas.
And the alpacas.
No, I agree with the 3.
Okay. For suspense and the build-up and stuff, I would give that a 4.
Oh, suspense was so good. Like, I feel like it was really well, like, thought out decline of everything. I was on the edge of my seat. So yeah, I agree with that 4.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I only give 5s out for something that like absolutely blows my mind.
Now I feel that.
For jump scares, there wasn't really a lot of jump scares.
No, there wasn't really any at all.
Yeah.
Well, except for like that part when they almost ran over the mutant cat.
I forgot about the mutant cat.
Yeah, like it was there for a brief second. Jump scares, I would honestly like give it like a 1 or a 2 because there wasn't really any.
Yeah, it's not a very jump scary movie, but there were times where it's just like, bah, you know? So yeah, I would give it 2.
Yeah, I'd say like, yeah, probably 2, because there wasn't really much jump scare, which, you know, I don't mind.
The grotesquerie, I would give it a 5.
Oh my god, yes. Like how disgusting like the creatures look, like the alpacas and the mother-son mutant, and like, it was good.
For real? If you're looking for grossness, grotesquerie, ick, yeah, Color of Space was a really good one for that.
Yeah, like the effects they used to like make them look so like the mutants. It was so good.
Very beautiful if you're into stuff like that. Camp and comedy. I don't think this was not, even though I was ready for it because I was like hee Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage.
And also hee Tommy Chong.
There wasn't really any of that.
It was actually pretty serious and pretty good. It was a little silly, so I would give it a 2.
I would say
but not very silly.
1.5 for me personally, because there wasn't really much of that.
Yeah, for real. It was actually, it kept the same tone. The atmosphere got more and more intense, but it kept the same tone throughout.
Yeah, it kind of did, like just the feeling of unease.
For real. Plot writing.
The plot, I would say, it's so good. So I would say, honestly, a 4.
I would also give it a 4.
Because, like,
it's a very 4.
I felt like its build-up was so good.
And, last but not least, the overall rating of...
Overall... I feel like giving it a 4.
I think a 4 is very fair. If you are a horror fan that mostly really likes atmosphere and gore, Color Out of Space,
psychological gore, you'll love this.
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Yes, I would agree to that.
It's got the VisceRate seal.
VisceRate seal of approval.
Ba-bam!
Yeah, like, it for sure hits the right spots of horror for me, because, yeah, psychological is my favorite, atmosphere, gore, like, it hits everything I like.
For real. Alright. That was all for Color of Space. I hope you enjoyed that the first segment of our 3-segment podcast.
Yay.
I didn't mention this earlier because I was too nervous and excited, but every month we will be doing 3 different types of media. We will be doing a horror film, a horror game, and then also either a manga or anime.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of this episode, we will mention the next 3 we have in mind.
Yep, and then we should set up.
Oh yeah, I'll set it up. I'll set up like a thing where you guys can suggest any horror media you would like us to check out. Horror games, horror anime, manga things, horror movies. I will set that up. I will announce when I have that set up, so you guys can suggest anything you'd like us to check out.
Also,
and we'll potentially check it out.
Yeah. Also, something for you for not just like the requests or anything, but if you have any questions, comments, or just, you know, want to tell Wishy that they stink,
hey!
We'll also set up something for that as well. So, are we going to take a break in between, or are we going to go straight into the next one? We're going to take a break?
We'll take a break in between. I feel like it's fair to do breaks in between each topic.
Okay. I am going to grab water. I am going to go to the washroom. I encourage chat to also washroom and water.
Yes.
We will be back with Akira.
Yeah, our next topic's Akira, so we be ready.
Be ready.
Be ready. But yeah, we're gonna do a BRB here quickly. Alright, we're back.
We are no longer on Color Out of Space.
Akira!
We're on Akira!
Oh my god. Leave me alone! Ah!
I went into this and I feel so bad because the entire time I was watching it, I was dunking on it.
You were dunking on it?
I will tell you my list of notes later.
Later. First,
yeah,
we gotta
when we're
sum it
discussing
up.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Alright, would you like to sum this one up?
I don't know how. I don't know how to sum it up, especially in my own words, because it's so much.
Oh my goodness, is it ever so much? But basically, okay, I'll sum it up.
Yeah.
Basically, Akira is set in a post-apocalyptic kind of future in Neo Tokyo. I think it's set in 2019, actually. It revolves around a teenage biker gang. And yeah, teenage biker gang leader around. I am not reading. Yeah, revolves around teenage biker gang leader Shotaro Kaneda. So Kaneda and his childhood friend Tetsuo. Tetsuo acquires telekinetic abilities, and throughout the film, they try and prevent him from meeting an entity named Akira to stop the destruction of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that is basically it.
This movie is technically not a horror or a thriller, but so many elements of it were super, like, dystopian.
Yes. I feel like a lot of elements were dystopian, and there was horror elements to it.
Yeah.
For sure. With, like, a lot of themes it touches, and, like, a lot of visuals shown.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, we also just wanted to watch it.
Yeah, we just wanted to watch it.
We're just like, we're doing a podcast about horror. Our first episode, let's do stuff about body horror because we both really, really like that. So to just get into it, we'll pick some stuff with that. And I was just like, I heard Akira has body horror, but it was like, when I watched it, it was a lot and it was good, but it was like only for a little, like,
yeah, it was still really cool though. Should we get on to the warnings and you can read those out?
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, you can read. You can read as well as I read.
I know. Oh yeah, I can. So, again, it's a very, very dystopian horror. There's a lot of, like, political stuff that goes on. Also, like, religious culty stuff that goes on. Body horror, absolutely. And psychological horror, because, you know, it just comes with the territory of dystopian horror, I think.
No, I agree.
Psychological. There is, like, a lot of violence. Of course, like the body horror gore. There is also SA. It's only for like a second, but you know, just to warn people that a lady does get her shirt ripped off.
Yeah, and luckily they do not show a lot.
Also, you know, specifically for the violence, it's gang violence.
Yes.
So those elements are in Akira.
Alright. Now on to the discussion phase. You said you had some notes you wanted to read me.
So I procrastinated, obviously, as have you.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Akira this morning, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of notes written.
Oh my god.
Because Akira is a lot.
It is. It is a lot.
Unfortunately, I am an idiot. So my notes are all terrible. And And they're all written in bullet points, which I shall lovingly rename bully points.
Yeah.
Because I misspoke earlier.
Yeah, Fern was like, what are the points you use in lists called? What are they called? I'm like, bullet points? Oh, bully points. Okay. I might as well be with like one of them you read to me.
I shall now sum up Akira for you in Fern language.
Alright,
I don't know.
I'm ready.
I don't know, 31 years after World War III, question mark? Clown gang, question mark, question mark? Biker clown gang. Tetsuo, MC, big ass forehead. Alien grandpa baby child fucks everyone up with sonic scream. Bro, in like little brackets, grandpa baby.
Grandpa baby.
Just pieces out and vanishes like a ghost. Tetsuo gets all riled up in this gang war against Clown Gang and ends up crashing into Grandpa Baby in an explosion. Who the fuck just reappears in the middle of the street? Fucking Tiny Grandpa shows up and arrests the homies, and Grandpa Baby gets kidnapped with an injured Tetsuo. These are my notes. I hope you enjoy.
Oh my goodness gracious.
There's 7 pages more.
Oh my god.
They're all like that.
Oh my goodness gracious.
At one point, if I like go into the middle of my notes, it says, "I hate it when brothers fight, sad face."
Me too. So, like, for Akira, I was going to take notes, but I got so invested in what the heck I was witnessing that I didn't end up taking notes, but I do know what I all want to say.
Okay, please do, because what I have to say is...
Grandpa baby?
Look, man, there were grandpa babies, alright?
There were 3 of them.
And then also, I wrote at some point, because I was scanning over my notes, Kaneda is badass as fuck.
Kaneda.
Yeah, I love Kaneda. Anyways, go on, Wishy. We'll actually have a proper discussion after, you know.
Alright.
After I just embarrassed myself with that.
So with Akira, I feel like there's so much you could analyze about Akira. Like, there's so many different themes. Like,
yeah.
What I mainly took away from Akira was it's a warning against nuclear bombs. It's a warning against that. Because throughout the film, they were, like, showing the effects of, like, what the war had done to Japan. Which, because it takes place, like, 30 years after the war. And this is, like... with Neo Tokyo, it shows like the effects of what resulted in that. And throughout it with the psychic powers, they were saying it was like godlike power that nobody should have. Because I remember one specific scene where Kaneda and I forget the girl's name were in the prison cell. Kay. Were in the prison cell, and she was explaining that what would happen if you gave an amoeba the abilities of a human. They would be revered as a god, which Akira was.
Yeah.
So that is how I view the cycle. The powers is like, it's a warning against using that kind of power. It's a warning against using nuclear bombs.
Yeah. What the whole thing was is that there were these like children that were being experimented on, and one of those children was Akira.
Yes. Who
at one point became like this super powered psychic entity that was like, he was so powerful, this kid, that I think people thought he was like locked away because of his power or something like that. and everyone's just like, better be careful. Like, the only one who could like unleash Akira and his like, you know, abilities and stuff like that, was Tetsuo or something.
Yes, because he had
people. Yeah. People were like praying to Akira and just like kind of like revering him as like some like, you know, like a god, as you said, and we're kind of like, because they're in this film, there was like a lot of there was a lot of conflict, especially like with the government and stuff. People were like, with Akira's power, you know, like we'll like be freed and stuff like that, right? But with these kids, there was 4 of them, Akira included. Akira!
Okay, talking about the kids, the 4 kids.
Yeah, the kids. There was one, I forget their names. I didn't write down any of their names because they also had numbers on them because they were experimented on. But the grandpa baby that was like first there, was Tetsuo the reason why Tetsuo was like affected because he came into contact with him?
That is why he was affected, is because he came into direct contact. Because he, like, remember he was motorbiking and Grandpa Baby showed up? And then he, like, crashed right into him, so he came into direct contact with him.
Like, direct contact, yeah. And then he started exhibiting...
Yes.
You know, just, like, the potential for these, like, powers. Going back to my notes.
Alright.
Hold on. Where is it? Because like I started fucking laughing so hard. Oh yes. He was in some sort of like, you know, because they're testing on him and because he's like exhibiting signs of these psychic powers, they were analyzing his aura, and his aura was like kind of similar to Akira's or something.
Yeah, it was like almost the inverse of Akira's, like it was opposite.
It was opposite. Because, like, what was it? Akira was, like, pure light or something? Like...
Yeah. So, like, that's why they were in fear of Tetsuo being the one to, like, fear of him waking up Akira, because his powers were, like, similar to his. They were in fear of him unlocking that power and using it to destroy the city.
You know what my notes say about that?
What?
Scan Tetsuo. Bro has max aura.
Yeah, but like there's so much you could analyze, like with Akira. It is like you could take any little piece from it and get so much out of it. Because like there was the corruption, like Tetsuo and Kaneda felt powerless in the world. I feel like that's a big reason later on in the film when Tetsuo gets kind of quote-unquote evil, is because he felt powerless in that world. He felt powerless in the city. Like, the teachers even, like, would discipline him and make him feel powerless. Like, remember that scene where the teacher was slapping all the kids? Like, the biker gang? Like, all the other gang members that took, like, that beat him up and beat that girl up. And so forth. He felt powerless, and then when he got these powers, he finally had the ability to not feel powerless for once.
Yeah. I feel like, especially like with the whole dystopian horror kind of aspect, is that everyone, like, everyone was in this situation where they felt like trapped or down, or, you know, it was kind of like, it kind of gave an overall tone of like things are going to shit all the time, and it's from everyone, like all of the characters, no matter if they were, you know, part of the gang or a part of like the cult that was like, you know, Akira will save us, or a part of the government. Everything was going to shit for everyone.
That's also why I feel the reason a lot of people latched on to Akira as this, like, god, this powerful god that'll make their lives better, that will help them, that will save them, because everyone felt so powerless, so, like, everything was out of their control.
it's just one of also those things. It's just like if you have, if you have no hope, you have to find it somewhere, right? Oops, I just hit my mic. Like in that situation, like everyone was powerless except for, these like godlike beings,
Yes. But also, with that godlike power, like, with the ending of the film, Tetsuo couldn't control it. It, destroyed him, and the one person he wanted to protect, it destroyed her.
Yeah.
And,
which
yeah.
Which was Kaori. We didn't really get too much of Kaori in the movie.
No, we really didn't, but we just knew she was important to Tetsuo.
Yeah. That's why I really also want to read the manga.
Yeah, like, she was the one person he really cared about, because, like, when he was finally losing control of his power, that's when he grew afraid for once of his power. He was not afraid of his power throughout the film, until that point. Like, he was pleading at the end for someone to help him and save him, so he couldn't hurt her. But sadly, in the end, his own power destroyed her. The one person he actually cared about.
Yeah. He juiced a couple of people, and he ended up juicing Kaori, so I mean...
Yeah...
I was surprised that, Kaneda came out of it fine.
Oh, I know. I'm surprised he did too. Like, Kaneda came out all peachy.
He's just like, oh, I'll just slip right out. Okay.
Alright, I'm free. I get the girl.
But yeah, during the whole thing, like, as he starts developing his powers and stuff, he goes from just this little guy. The whole time I didn't even think that, he was bullied at the beginning, right? I just thought he was just like the baby brother of his gang, He's just a little guy. But even just being a little guy sometimes can make you feel powerless, right?
Yeah, because he always was the one that always needed saving. People always needed to save him. He couldn't defend himself. So I feel like that's why there was a dramatic shift in how he acted towards Kaneda once he got his godlike abilities.
Yeah. And so, like, these kids who were experimented on, the grandpa babies, when he came into contact and he got powers just like the grandpa babies. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Perfect description.
It's like ingrained in my mind now.
Well,
ever since I was just like, this child looks like he's 80.
They kind of are, because they, like, in the beginning of the film is in 1988, and that's when the first, like, explosion happened. That was Akira. That was Akira exploding like that.
Oh, so they are old grandpa babies.
Yes! Because, yeah, that first, like, that beginning part, when you see the initial explosion, then it shows the title card, that's Akira blowing up.
Oh, and that's why it's a post-apocalyptic...
Yes!
Okay, I got you. That's my bad.
So that's why they're so set on stopping Tetsuo, because they don't want that to happen again. Like what happened with Akira.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like... My beautiful thing, because I am a decay witch, is if you try to, like, if you try to keep things the way that they are for too long, it becomes stagnant.
Yes.
Right? And I believe things have to, cycle, decay, die, and then, renew. So in Akira, it looks like they've been, like, stuck for so long that something has to happen.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real, right?
So what were your thoughts on the ending of Akira?
I was confused.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't care much for the film when I first watched it. When I finished it, I was like, I don't know how I feel. It was everywhere. And then the more I sat on it, the more I like it, the more I thought on what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I have a theory on what happened at the end.
Okay, you spit theories at me. Spit theories.
So remember when the explosion was happening, and like all the grandpa babies were like, one day, like saying like one day we will get it right or something like that. Remember?
Yes.
Like they were all like that, and then like the scientist guy was freaking out, and he's like, "Oh my god, this looks like the birth of a new universe." So I think that's exactly what happened with the explosion. It was the birth of a new universe. Because at the end, like, after the credits, he's like, "I am Tetsuo, blah, 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 blah." And that's him in the new universe. And, like, when he mutates, he takes form as, like, a messed up baby. Right?
It's like a rebirth. It's like what I was saying earlier. Oh my god, something had to happen?
Yeah, so it's like a rebirth.
Happened.
And
yeah.
so that's what happened in the beginning of the movie, too, with Akira. That's what I think, anyway.
No, I'm mildly picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, because like, just it stuck out to me that the scientist man was like, "This looks like the birth of a universe." Because I even commented when I was watching it with my boyfriend. I was like, "Oh, it's like a Big Bang," and it was, I think, because it makes sense why he had the form of a baby.
Oh, hell yeah. Could you imagine having to write a paper on Akira?
Oh my god, that'd be... Well, there was so much to analyze because it truly is a warning of, like, weapons of mass destruction, aka nukes. It totally is, with, like, how the whole, like, what would happen if you gave an amoeba the abilities of a human? They'd be revered like a god. And that's what Akira was. He was revered like a god. And Tetsuo was too, because a lot of people were like, the rebirth of Akira, which also has the themes of rebirth, with them saying that.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. Well, at first when I finished it, I was like, what the fuck just happened? And then the next that I finished it, I was like, after a while, I'm like, you know what? I think I get it. I think I understand. I was so excited.
I'm processing. I'm processing.
Oh, I had to process for a while. You watched it just this morning, so it makes sense why you wouldn't get it, because it took me a few days to understand truly what happened.
Like you had to really process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot.
I'm gonna have to watch it again, to be honest with you.
Oh no, I kind of want to watch it again too, because at first, like I said, I didn't really like it. And then I sat on it and I'm like, you know what? I like the movie more.
See,
like,
I enjoyed it, and I was like sitting there, you know, having the time of my life trying to like process what was going. It's just like also the way that older movies are just cut.
Yeah, like it felt a bit everywhere for me, to be honest. And then like I sat on it and thought more on like its themes, and I'm like, you know what? This is actually really good. I understand why it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's definitely a film of its time because of the story it's telling.
I think it's really relevant.
Yeah, I think it holds up, but like definitely, like when it came out, I can see why it was so revered.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Because like Japan was still dealing with the aftermath of like the World War. They were still dealing with what happened.
I know, and a lot of people, I think, when they think about historical events like that, it wasn't that long ago.
No!
It wasn't that long ago.
No, I can see totally how you'd be able, like, to write a paper on Akira because of all the themes it has.
For real. For horror and the horror aspects of it, I feel like the first instance in the movie was when Tetsuo was in the, I wouldn't say hospital, but like
Facility?
The facility, and he's starting to manifest his powers and stuff like that. And it's like the very first time he's like really shown to like have some sort of like psychic ability, because he's like water and he wants his water, right? And he like
oh, I
slides
know
to
the
him.
scene. I know the scene you're talking about.
And, you know, he starts having, like, a bad time psychologically because, you know, a lot of things are manifesting, a lot of things are going on in his brain. He's being called by, like, the kind of, like, I don't know, aura of Akira?
Yeah, or Akira's trying to, like, summon him and bring him to him.
Right? And he just starts, like, hallucinating and having a bad time. And there's a whole bunch of toys in his room, which at first really confused me, but then I understood because the facility was for grandpa babies. So like with those children in mind in the facility, you know, it made more sense that there was like toys and stuff in his room. But they all just kind of like start moving, and it's like somebody's toying with him, and they all just kind of start clumping together into like this big huge like toy that starts attacking him. And that reminded me of when I was a kid. I used to have dreams of my toys
attacking you?
Attacking me?
No, I feel that. I feel that.
And I was just like, yeah, this is horror, right?
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, and then like I remember earlier in that scene, like he envisions his own guts spilling out.
Yeah.
Like earlier in the scene when he's like having a crisis.
Right? He had a lot of like mental bad times while his powers were manifesting.
Yeah. Well, because his powers were so strong and he wasn't used to having them.
Right? Visions of like the world crumbling around him. Visions of Kaneda like being there, and he was always like worried because like that's his brother, right?
Yeah.
What I didn't understand, especially like from the movie, maybe I'll get it like maybe I'll understand it better once I read the manga. Is why like kind of at the beginning he's like, you know, he's worried about his brother, his friend Kaneda, and you know it seems like he wants to like protect him, but at the as he like grows more and more into his power, he starts caring kind of less and less, and actually becomes like angry at him.
I think it's he's angry at him because before he had to rely on Kaneda, he had to rely on him. He felt powerless, and Kaneda was the powerful one that like kind of bossed him around and all that. And I think it was a resentment at him for that.
I hate it when brothers fight.
No, I feel like that's kind of what it was. Like, he felt powerless, and Kaneda was always more powerful than him, he felt.
Yeah.
It was just a built-up resentment for that.
Wishy, I'm an eldest sibling, so I don't know. Have you ever felt resentful towards your elder sibling?
No. But, like, I feel like in Tetsuo's case, that's kind of why he shifted. Because Kaneda would always be the one trying to help him and do that. And he felt like Kaneda seemed, like, untouchable. And Tetsuo was the one that was always needing help. And he's the one that always felt weak. So when he finally got that power and Kaneda was trying to stop him, he was like, how dare you? Like, I can handle myself now. I don't need you anymore.
I see.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, power is
it can corrupt
poison.
People.
It's a poison, and it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, because at that point Tetsuo became almost godlike.
Yeah.
And
like when you're up there, you have to be. I think it's all like Akira mostly is like, be careful. Be careful of all these things. Be careful about not only like seeking to gain power, because like the scientists and the government and stuff like that, right? Like not only like seeking to gain power, but once you have it, that is also you have to be careful with it. Like it's like power itself is dangerous.
Yeah, you have to be careful with it, and nobody should have that type of power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a warning against weapons of
seek
mass
it out.
destruction.
Is very good. It was very good.
Oh yeah. Do you have any more to say about it?
Mostly because I want to get in like the body horror aspects, the horror aspects. There was a lot of like, even before like the big kind of like body horror reveal, there was a lot of like violence and gory aspects. Like at some point, you know, Tetsuo, when he first like breaks out and you actually get to see him break out, he like just explodifies 3 people, and I thought that was cool as all hell.
Yeah, he exploded 3 people.
He exploded, well, not only that, but then he like walks down the hallway, exploders more people. He like crushes people in this kind of like vacuum sphere.
Yeah.
At some point. Other points include some guy was shot with a like machine gun in like the sewers, and you see later on his hand is still just on a gun.
Oh yeah, when like
holding...
the girl picks it up. I always forget her name. Kay?
Kay, yeah.
Yeah, she picks it up and like that man's hand's still attached.
And I'm just like, whoa. And there's so many times where like somebody's like crushed or, you know, just shot. At the beginning even, when the grandpa baby was escaping before
oh
Tetsuo
my god!
ran him over.
That guy got blasted.
You know, he holds up his gun and a whole bunch of people like shoot him, but it was so violent and visceral, and you know, he got totally ripped apart. I was like, whoa. There was also a part where Kay was trying to escape because like there was like some sort of terrorist bombing that she was involved in.
Yeah.
And she was in the sewers, and Kaneda saves her. But then she shoots the guy, and half of his face gets blown off.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa, whoa.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Akira. But it is very violent. It is very visceral, and I think we need to take that into consideration, because like a lot of it is just like stuff that happens because everything is happening all at once.
Oh
like,
yeah,
all the time,
there's a lot of stuff happening.
And I feel like those moments kind of get like buried by everything that's happening, but like there's a lot of it.
Yeah, like I feel like the moment when Kay shoots that guy, like you can see like the look on her face, like that was the first time she ever killed somebody, and like just the shock and like.
No, she was shocked by that. She was for a couple of scenes after that even, she was shell-shocked.
Yeah, which like you forget about that like once like you continue on with the film, but like the whole shock of that alone for her.
Right. Because when that happened, I was also shocked. Right?
You're like,
I was like, and I didn't get the time to process.
No, because things just kept moving. But that's like, I feel in that moment you feel like what she's feeling, because she doesn't really have time to process either, because everything's happening.
Yeah, because she's a part of like some sort of resistance.
Yeah.
There was there's also like a couple of times here and there, other than that there were like violent or gory scenes. But once it came to kind of the finale,
oh my.
There were these medications that were supposed to keep Tetsuo kind of like in check, keep his powers in check, keep him from losing himself, stuff like that. And as he is kind of like succumbing to his power, he starts morphing, changing. I would even say like
Metamorphosis?
Yes. Metamorphosizing? Is that a word?
Yeah, that is.
I think it is. Okay. Because like, you know, it's changing him, but it's changing him into like this huge, like, grotesque being that is like trying to rebirth itself into like a god, and it is disgusting.
Oh my god. It is so, like, the animation goes crazy. Especially, like, there was a part that Tetsuo loses his arm, and he makes himself a new arm out of, like, mechanical, like, metal bits and stuff. And that animation was so incredible.
Hold on my notes.
No, did you write something funny for that?
I did. Dude, I wrote something for everything that happens. Where is it?
Like, the animation go crazy in Akira.
I have on one page, gets sick cape.
Yeah, he do! He do!
And then 2 note pages later, makes arm, in brackets, very sick.
Very sick.
I have to show you all of my notes at one point.
You will.
But like, at one point, somebody would be like, I want to know what these 7 pages of notes are. And I'm gonna be like, for if you sign up to our Patreon.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, it was, as I was saying earlier when we were talking about like how body horror usually involves like things just kind of melding together and stuff like that. It was almost as if like Tetsuo was trying to like bring in whatever he could into like whatever he was becoming.
Yeah.
He ended up, you know, grabbing his girlfriend or whoever she was to him, Kaori, into his like mass that he was becoming, all that flesh and gore, and he ended up killing her. Sadly. And then he tried to do the same with Kaneda, but Kaneda was able to escape him. And the whole time, as, you know, we were talking about earlier as well, whenever something fleshy and gory like this happens, they seem to always be like pleading or in some sort of distress or pain. I don't think it was like pain in Tetsuo's case, but it was more of an emotional distress as, you know, he regret what he has become and what he was doing.
Yeah, and he didn't want to hurt Kiara? What was her name again?
Kaori.
Yeah, he didn't want to hurt her. He was pleading with Kaneda to stop, like, save her, to stop him. He was pleading for anyone because the power was too much. He couldn't control it anymore.
And so, yeah, those aspects, what made it, like, really horrifying to me. Not just, like, those moments of, like, body horror or violence, but also the whole, like, feeling helpless and hopeless.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Are you ready to go on with the ranking?
I am.
Oh, hell yeah. Alright. So, Wishy.
Yes.
For the gore and grotesquerie, out of 5.
There wasn't a whole lot throughout the film. I would honestly just say, like, it was more present. Well, I guess there was a bit. But I would say, like, 3.5.
Yeah, I would give it a 3. Just because it's not like the focus or anything, but it is really prevalent in the film.
Yeah, Rhino has it right. They captured dread so well in Akira.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, horror doesn't have to like scare you.
No.
It doesn't have to like punch you in the face with it, but that feeling of like
dread,
that feeling of you can't do anything, helplessness. It was very good for that.
Yeah, what would you give? Oh, wait, did you give your rating?
I said 3.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I said 3. It was 3. It's like a middle ground for me.
I agree.
Psychological. I would give it a 4 for psychological.
You know what? I think you're right. I would also give it a 4.
For real? For real?
Because, like, there was a lot of psychologicalness in Akira.
Like, that's what most of it was. That's what, you know, that's what, like, all those feelings were, right? It really hit your brain.
Yeah.
For violence, I would also give it a 4.
Yeah, there was a lot of violence. A lot of different types. So I think a 4 is fair.
Yeah, because there was torture, there was essay, there was
there was a lot.
Gang violence,
yeah.
You know, stuff like that. For suspense and build up, I would not say that it was like really suspenseful.
No, I wouldn't say so either. I would honestly, for the suspense, I'd say 2.
Yeah, me too.
Because there wasn't really a suspense. I mean, kind of, but not really. To be honest,
there was a lot of tension.
Yeah, tension, but I wouldn't say like a build up.
Yeah, it was very straightforward. This movie.
Kind of. Not really, but kind of.
Like, and it's like I wouldn't say tone, but in the way that it didn't build any like suspense and release for me.
Yeah.
It just made me feel upsetty spaghetti the whole time.
Oh no, you know, that's fair. Yeah, so I'd say like a 2.
Yeah, I'd say a 2. Jump scares, there was none.
No.
So that goes in the none pile.
Yeah, a 0.
For camp and comedy, that is also none.
Yeah, there was none.
It's a very serious movie.
Yeah, 0 for that as well because there was nothing funny.
Atmosphere, very good.
I would give the atmosphere a solid 4 because I think it just gives like that dystopian horror. You can feel the dread of like everyone in the movie,
right?
Dripping off of them.
Just the panic, the stress.
Actually,
if I were to say, well,
actually, I would say 4.5 for the atmosphere because I feel like the dread, the dystopian, everything. Just like, I feel the atmosphere was done very well. It feels gritty. It feels like I just love it.
I would say a solid 4, and I would also say that if I were to describe the feeling the entire time, it would be stress.
Yes.
Stress the entire time. Plot writing. That's something that I also, I'm going to loosely rate because I don't know, because I also want to read, Akira, not only just watch it.
Oh no,
but
that's fair.
For the plot writing, I will give it like a 4.5 because it is really good.
Yeah, like the more I sat on it, the more I liked it, so I think I would also give it a 4.5 on that.
Hell yeah.
Because like at first I was like, what the fuck did I just see? But now I'm like, oh, I understand.
Hell yeah. And for the overall rating,
Damn.
I know. I know.
Like,
how do you?
Like I said, I didn't care much for it when I first watched it.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those movies you have to ponder on. One of those movies you really have to sit with.
Yeah.
So I think I would honestly give Akira a solid 4.5 for what its story it's telling.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5.
I also give it a 4.5 out of 5. I was like sitting here ready to like jump out with 4.5.
Yeah, I feel like for you, because you didn't have a chance to sit on it as long,
mm-hmm.
like, it'll be interesting when, like, a few days from now, you'll be like, oh my god! Right?
I'll have an epiphany.
Yeah, you will have an epiphany. Like, it took me a few days to ponder on it, because I'm like, I don't know how I feel. And then I pondered on it and thought more of, like, what the story was trying to convey, and I'm like, I actually love this now.
Yeah. Man.
It's a masterpiece.
That's another thing Akira makes me feel, man.
Man.
Ellipses.
Yeah, because, like, I actually, right after I watched it, I messaged Rise Rodriguez, and I'm like, I don't know if I like it. It's like, I don't know if I care for it. And then I sat on it, and the next morning I'm like, you know what? I like it more.
You're like, wait a darn second.
Wait a darn second. No, it's...
Hold on a minute.
It's just one of those you have to sit on and think about.
For real. Oh.
At least that's my experience with it.
and once again, I'm still processing it.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm still sitting here, like, staring off into the distance.
You're like...
With the little doob in my hand, you know, just, you know, looking at the moon, really thinking about life.
Yeah. No, it's... I love it.
I also love it. Thank you, Akira, for letting me watch you.
Should we take another break before we move forward?
We're gonna take another 5, and then we're going to... This is our big one. We come in with 2, and, you know, we talk about them, and then we come in with our game, and we show you our game stuff.
Yeah, I feel like
boy.
With games, though, there's more to discuss because you experience it.
Yeah, we're in it. We're in it, man.
Yeah, I made a cute little, like, reel of Fern and I's experience playing this Still Wakes the Deep, so we will play that once we're back with everything. But we're gonna take a little break. So, bam! Alright, we're back!
We are. I'm so excited.
I
I'm
am so
for
excited.
Still Wakes the Deep.
Oh, me too. I loved Still Wakes the Deep. I mean, I played it twice, so...
I mean, yes. I want to play it again.
Oh, you
For
should.
you for playing it twice. What the heck? I'll play it more times than you.
No, I'm so glad I suggested this one. I really like Still Wakes the Deep.
It brings me joy.
Yeah!
Before we get on with it, I need to make my joke about it.
Okay.
That I know. You know what I first thought
What?
when you brought up, like, a horror that takes place on an oil rig
What did you
that
think
has...
of?
It made me think of that one South Park episode when the BP oil company drills into another dimension and summons Cthulhu.
You know you're not far.
And I've been keeping that to myself
Oh my
for
god.
weeks, just so I could tell you on stream.
I haven't watched a lot of South Park in my day, so I didn't even know about that episode.
I thought I watched it at your house once.
Maybe you did, I don't know. But maybe that's where they got the idea. They're like, oh shit!
Oh man, what if we made... I really doubt it, but it just reminded me of that, and it's just been sitting as like a little brain worm, a little worm in my brain, just like, remember that one time? And I'm just like, oh god.
Oh,
Because
god.
it makes me sad. Because Still Wakes the Deep is a masterpiece.
Oh my god, I love it so much. It's probably my second favorite horror game of 2024.
I think it makes my list of favorite horror games of all time, my top 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it slides its way into my top 10.
Nice.
Alright, let's get into it.
Yeah, alright. So first, before we continue, we gotta sum it up!
For real? For real?
So, do you want me to sum it up?
Do you want to take turns summing it up?
Sure.
Okay.
I can start us off. Want me to do it in a Scottish accent?
You can try.
No, I won't. So basically, you are an offshore oil rig worker, Cameron McCleary. You're fighting for your life through a vicious storm. A vicious storm with the freezing waters of the North Sea. Your communication lines are all severed, and all exits are gone. All that faces the unknown horror that is aboard the oil rig.
Hell yeah. Good old Kaz McCleary is a father and husband.
Yes.
Who got this job on the oil rig to get away from the caps. He beat someone, and instead of facing up to what he has done, he decides to take a step back, get a job, try to figure stuff out. But as he's in this, on this rig in the middle of the ocean, things start going to shit, and there's this weird, eldritch thing that starts infecting the people around him, and he can't escape from it because all the escapes are broken for reasons that we will discuss later.
Yes, we will for sure.
That's basically it. It's going through his the horror of what he's facing there, but also it's going through his story as, his emotions going through everything here, and stuff with his family, what he has done, and what he wishes that he could do.
Yeah. Agreed. But let's
For
talk
real.
about what genres this falls under and the warnings, and then I will show the clips of us playing this game.
Which I have not seen yet either, so I am very excited.
Alright. So the genres that Still Wakes the Deep falls under horror-wise is eldritch horror, body horror, and psychological horror. So
The warnings, yeah.
you can already tell this is a Ferd and I type game because of the body horror and the psychological.
Yeah, the two things that bring us together as people.
Alright, you can read the warnings.
Body horror, obviously. Very gross, fleshy.
Oh my god, I love the monsters.
But also weirdly, like, there's a lot of like fin-looking things. So you get that kind of like fishiness to it.
Yeah.
A lot of like light from unknown sources. Which was like really cool as well. Thalassophobia, because you are stuck in the middle of the ocean and there is a lot of traversing through water.
Oh yeah.
Claustrophobia also, because you are stuck in the metals of the oil rig, and you know, there's a lot of places where you have to squish yourself into to hide, or squish yourself through to get to your objectives. So there's a lot of like being trapped.
Yeah, there's a lot of squeezing between things. So if you are claustrophobic or thalassophobic, this might not be the game for you.
Also, if you don't like explosions, I would also put that in there.
Explosions. Yeah, there is a few, yeah.
For real. Because we live in the place that we do, that, you know, a lot of people are like really fixated on oil.
Mm-hmm.
I was always scared that things would like start blowing up.
Oh yeah. No, I feel you.
Cause like there's a certain like protection in place with like, you know, oil rigs and stuff, where they for, you know, that big fire that always goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always like really spooked that like, you know, somehow it'll create like an explosion, but like that's like kind of what it's there for. Anyways.
But before we discuss about this game, I am going to switch over and show you our experience playing this game. It's a little long, but I had to cut down 2 5-hour VODs. So 11 minutes of pure Ferd and I's reactions.
Hell yeah.
Let's go, baby. I'm gonna have to jump and climb! No. Ah!
Yeah, I'm that good. Oh, well. I was holding the wrong side. But...
Oh god, there's gonna be a water monster, isn't there? Oh!
The fuck is that?
Hello? Oh, I don't want to stick around and find out what the fuck that is. Get out of here. Oh, it's a hold crouch.
The fuck is that?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What is... Hello? No, 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 no.
Ah! Ah!
What the fuck? I don't know what's going on.
What?
Fuck is that?
What? What was it? I didn't see anything! I didn't see anything!
There's a hide. Okay. Alright. Fine. Great. This brings me joy.
The fuck is that? Fuck!
So,
Oh, that's just brilliant. Perfect. No fucking more.
so Roy, I kinda, sorta bungled our way out of this mess.
Fuck!
Oops. My bad. Climb back
Oh,
up.
that's just brilliant. Perfect. No
Okay, but we
fucking
still got this one. This one's still here. It's better than nothing, boys. Climb back up my ass. Can't believe.
What the fuck? Hi!
What? You.
Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. Oh my god. Oh my god, it is! It is! No!
I said. No, you don't. You don't see nothing. You don't see jack shit. You don't see jack shit. No! No, my friend! It is.
Please, no! Jesus
Oh my god!
Christ!
Ah! It's Rennick! Ah!
Fuck! Fucking... Jesus fucking Christ!
Ah! Dude. Yeah, what the fuck?
Fuck!
Run! Oh god, he's still after me!
No purse. No purse. No purse. Ah! No thanks. No thank you. No thanks. No thank you.
Oh, shit. Yeah, fuck.
Run! Get the fuck out of here! Go!
Oh, shit. Jesus.
No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. No thanks.
Why would you do this? Why would you do this? I don't like all these crawly holes. If the evil tries to just say no, they can't legally kill. You know, good point. What?
Oh dear. Jesus.
Ah!
I hear someone.
No, you don't.
Okay, and then you go through here, all the way to here, and then you go all the way in there, and then there's gonna be so much sneaking back. I hate this. Oh.
Fuck. Oh dear. Jesus.
Hi. How's it going?
Oh, I accidentally hit him. I'm sorry! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to! I'm sorry! That wasn't me! Ah! Ah! What are you doing in here? Oh my god!
There was really no point to put out that fire, was there? I guess not. Open. No. Never mind. Oh, god damn it, there's a ladder right here. No shit.
Oops. Ow! I'm actively extinguishing it as I'm going. Why am I being set aflame? Rude. What? Oh. Where? What? Oh.
I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Get out! Oh god, flesh wall, flesh wall, flesh wall. Flesh walls, flesh walls. Flesh walls! Ah!
Ah! Ah, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My bad, brother. Ah! Stop it.
Jesus,
Oh no! No! Halt! Halt!
fuck's sake!
Oh fuck, I'm pressing the wrong button! Oh fuck, I'm pressing the wrong button! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm trying to save us, you stupid fucking bastard! This is your fucking joking me.
Why? This is not. Ah! 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 Ah!
Fuck's sake!
Excuse me. Okay, cool. Ah!
I'm trying to save us, you stupid fucking bastard!
Oh no!
Fuck!
No! Oh god! 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 Ah!
No, thank you. 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 Oh.
Hello? Ah! Runner! Oh, I'm running towards him! I'm running to what? I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I ran to.
You're fine. Stop! 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 Stop it! Stop it! Ow! Ah, I can't see. The seagull. Where's the seagull? There it is.
And we're back.
I love how we have the same brain cell.
We do! But there you go. That was our experience playing Still Wakes the Deep.
It was the time and a half.
Oh, it sure was. It sure was. I loved
Dude.
the game.
But seeing as we both had like the same experiences of like, where the fuck am I going?
I never know where I'm going.
Yeah, me too.
But anyways, since you've played it for the first time, what were your thoughts?
Oh man, it's a lot because like, for me, since you're more of like the horror gamer and I'm more of like the horror watcher, I get so stressed when it's like me in there doing my thing. Hold on. my cat's trying to like eat my microphone right now.
He's like, nom 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 nom.
I think he wants my attention. But the whole time, as soon as like we were plopped in there, I didn't know anything about the game, obviously, because I try not to spoil myself on things.
Yeah.
But I did get spoiled for the mirror? The mirror area?
Oh, the mirror area.
So, in the beginning, when you're first called into your boss's office, I was already on edge. Because I had to go outside.
When he like cussed you out for getting the cops on his butt.
Yeah. So, you know, walking in first thing, we wake up. Not wake up, but like we're introduced to our character in his like
Divorce speedrun.
Well, yeah, our divorce speedrun. We get divorced. We're reading our divorce paper in our cabin. Where our wife is just like, you better sort things out,
Or I'm leaving ya.
or I'm leaving ya, kind of thing, right? And we waddle around. We can explore the cabins first thing, right? And you know, I'm all happy. I'm ready to roll. Not stressed out yet. But the first thing I see is that I go into the cabin right across from ours, and there's this paper saying that there were safety hazards that were going to be, like, inspected, I guess?
Yeah.
Or looked into. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we're already violating OSHA. Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
You know, we're exploring, we're learning about the characters. We see a couple of our friends, another maintenance person whose name starts with an F.
Finlay.
Finlay.
I love
you know, we
Finlay.
meet Finlay. We give her our lighter. And I think this is very important at the beginning, the lighter. And we're just like, I don't need it anymore, whatever. And we you know, we give her our lighter. We go on. We meet our other best friend, who is our diabetic chef. And then we go outside. And as soon as we went outside, my like, I clenched my cheeks because I was so stressed.
Because you didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't know what was gonna happen. And this is why I love like horror games, is because it puts you right in it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's why I love them too.
You're the one who has to deal with everything. Right?
Yeah.
You go in, the boss is like, the police are asking about you because you tried to escape the police by coming here. I'm mad, you're fired, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But as the boss is, you know, talking to us, he gets a phone call about like their drill isn't drilling, kind of thing, right? It's stuck. They're stuck on something.
There's something in the way of it.
And he's just like, I don't care, just drill through it. Which also, you know, goes hand in hand with the whole like, everything is not taken seriously when it comes to safety here. And that's like pretty much the beginning of everything, right? Just the fact that safety is not taken into consideration.
Yeah, Rennick, like, you know right away from the beginning, from reading that note, from seeing how he acts in his office, that it is not a concern. And, like, talking with the people on the way to his office, because they make complaints about the conditions. And you can see in the dorm rooms themselves that they're not up to code and they are just not safe they shouldn't be suitable for people to sleep in. Like, you can tell that Rennick's want to cut corners, and Kadal, as a business, which is the business, cuts corners to save money.
And this is where, it's like everything starts because they're just like, whatever, get on with it kind of thing, right?
Their negligence.
And so they go ahead, they try to drill through it, and that results in like a disturbance in the rig. Things like falling off of the rig, a whole bunch of tremors, metal collapsing, you know, everything just goes to shit. It goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh yeah.
We are thrown into the ocean because of all the tremors, but luckily we are pulled out by some of our co-workers.
Brody pulled us out, baby.
Yeah, Brody, super cool. We'll get more on Brody,
Brody
is
the
super
bro
cool.
dude.
He is the bro dude. But when we are kind of like in and out of it, because we were like thrown into the water and, you know, we kind of lost consciousness, it seems like, you know, something infects us or something, right? There's a lot of like colors and just like weird goopy like visuals in like the corners of our visions, and we are thinking about in that moment our family, right? Because I feel for Kaz, like that's what matters most to him, is his family, right?
That's what's most important. And also, before you continue, what thing I found cool about those visuals is like they look like oil droplets. Like, it looks like oil. Like, you know how oil looks when, like, it's on the ground and it has, like, that kind of rainbowy texture to it?
Oh, yeah, like an oil spill.
Yes!
Yeah,
So it looks like an oil spill.
Oil and water. And it
it
has, like, a whole bunch of, like, it's very colorful. It's very shiny. And, yeah, it's very oily.
Which I think is just a neat thing to just add. But anyways, continue.
From then on, you know, like, you can tell that everything is wrong, right? We come out, we try to help Brody get somebody out of, like, the diving tank because, you know, they came and they saved us. There were casualties in that moment, but everything's, like, kind of collapsing and falling apart, and so, you know, instead of, you know, right away calling for some sort of, evacuation, our boss is like, we'll try to figure this out at first, right?
He's like, oh, you're gonna be back at work in like an hour. No need to worry, we're just gonna figure it out, slap a band-aid on it, and continue as normal.
Piss me right off.
Yeah, Rennick sucks. Rennick's the worst.
The worst. Then there's this, like, whatever was hit, we go underneath the rig to try to, you know, because everything has gone to shit. Some places are blocked off now. There was a lot of destruction, and we see that as like we are underneath the rig trying to go, like, get to our next destination. We see that everything underneath, like the actual drill itself, has been like ribboned and, you know, destroyed, and there's like this weird, like, otherworldly light emitting from it kind of thing, right? And it was super cool, but
I know! Like... It's like this weird, like, flesh-looking growth around the drill, and our character's, like, entranced by it, and it's like, what even is that? Where, like, one of the fellow like oil rig workers, like, don't get near it, don't look at it, come inside, don't be out there with it.
And I'm just sitting there, it's like, but I want to take a picture, I want to paint this thing. Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
Like, it's almost disgustingly beautiful. in a way.
It is. Is there body horror but for machinery?
Well, I guess there kind of is. I don't know if there's a word for it, but there is. A lot of body horror also has like kind of machine look to it. Because like if you Geiger's work, like Geiger, like Alien Guy's work is very machiney, but like body horror.
Yeah.
Machiney, fleshy look to it. So that's kind of what it reminded me of.
It's just like gore and grotesquerie, but also in not only like characters, people, but also in like the scenery itself, which we also kind of touched upon when we were talking about The Color of Space.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate it in this, but like just the way that Still Wakes the Deep kind of like framed it. It was like it actually almost took my breath away.
Oh, I know. It's such a good game. But yeah, anyways, like the whole game, like Kaz is going around trying to figure out what's going on. They like try and find a way up to the helicopter pad where Rennick is, and saying, "Hey, I'm fucking leaving. And if anyone wants to escape, get up to the helicopter pad."
Right? He like at first he's just like, "Oh yeah, we'll get back to work," kind of thing, right? And as soon as like we get up and we're talking to our friend, and our friend is just like, what's his name again? Because he also has a nickname, and I don't remember either. Our chef friend.
Chef friend Roy?
Roy. So like, yeah, Roy's our boy. Oh my god.
Roy the boy! Roy the boy! And his nickname's Big Man.
Big Man. Okay. So Roy, you know, he's diabetic. He needs his stuff, and so he's just like, I'll get my insulin myself. You try to find us a way out of here. We go down to the escape pods, and because
the lifeboats.
The lifeboats, because our company likes to cut corners and, you know, is just nothing but a health and safety violation, none of them work. We can't escape. There is no escape. The only other escape is the helicopter pad, which, at, you know, the boss's convenience, as soon as he is in danger, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's when he calls for an evacuation, right?
No, he doesn't even really call another ship. He just kind of leaves. He, like, gives them a warning, like, anyone who wants to escape, come. But then, like, he only waited for, like, a little bit. And then he's like, you know what? Screw you guys. I guess we're leaving.
He made an announcement, right? And he's just like, if you're going to escape, then, like, come. It's kind of like, you know, but I did give them the chance.
Oh, I gave them the chance. Like, no, his incompetence, his negligence, that is the cause for everything that is happening.
Right? And so we're trying to get over there so that we can get ourselves, and also, you know, Roy, our boy, we're trying to give our boy some time, first of all, to go get his insulin, but we're also, you know, trying to get out ourselves. And so we make it our job to go over there and, you know, stop the boss. But during all of this, we see a lot of our, like, co-workers and stuff, and they've become these like shells of themselves mentally. And then physically, they are just flesh monster beings.
Yeah, they're like an amalgamation of, like, flesh and, like, whatever this growth is that's coming from the drill. It starts infecting more of the oil rig. You see more of the growth around the oil rig. And, like, Kaz is almost entranced but yet disgusted by it throughout.
Right, and, like, it's fleshy, it's horrible. A lot of it, you know, you see, like, arms and faces and hands coming out of, like, the walls and the growth. But then you also see these, like, beautiful, like, I would almost say just waves of light and stuff coming off of it. It's almost like looking, you know those light catchers that you put in the windows? Yeah, it's almost like looking at light catchers, and you know, seeing like those, like the almost like the rainbow that comes off of them, and it's almost calming.
Oh, I know. It's like so incredible, like how they frame whatever this entity is.
Right? And again, as I said before, I love not knowing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But anyways, like, Kaz tries to make his escape, and he teams up with Brody and Finley, and they try to find a way out. They try and,
Right.
like, they decide to try and find a working radio that'll radio a rescue boat to save them all. Whereas Kaz is still trying, like, making sure Roy gets off too, and that throughout the way he encounters many of what he would call friends or just co-workers. And yeah, like Fern said, like they're like mutated monstrosities that have fragments of like their thoughts, like their previous like thoughts that they used to have. Like, because I think they're still sentient. They very much are in there, in that mutant body, but they can't control themselves. They're in a trance.
Yeah, they're like trapped within themselves.
Yes, which honestly is so horrifying to think of.
Do you think it's almost kind of like sleepwalking?
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way. Because, like, what they say and stuff, like, they are conscious, but they're not.
Like, they know about, like, their memories. They know that they are at work. They recognize you when they see your face.
Yeah, because, like, a deer, like, screams at you, like, calling you a coward, and he says your name and stuff, like, when you're at his section. And well, Mirror is very interesting, because in his section, he's begging not to be left alone, because he's afraid.
Yeah.
Of what's happening to him.
Right? Instead of like a kind of like, get over here, you, he's just like, oh, it's you, like, don't run away from me.
He's like, don't run away, please don't leave me alone. Like, he's pleading with you in his mutant form. He doesn't want to be left alone, and that's like, it makes it so much more horrifying because they are still sentient.
Yeah, like they're still there, but like at the same time, like Muir is like killing the people that he's begging not to leave him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he does not realize that at all.
And he also can't control it. Like the first encounter you face is Gibbo.
Yeah.
He's the first one you kind of face. Like, you don't really see him, but you hear him, like, freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
You hear him freaking the heck out as you're, like, making your way through, like, engineering. The water tanks. The water tanks is where you're making it through.
Yeah.
I think you catch a glimpse of him when you're in the water tanks.
I was so worried during that. I don't think like anything actually happens there or is supposed to happen.
No.
But I was schmooving through it, man. I wasn't taking the chance.
But like throughout the game, they do it so well because every character, their reactions and how they act feels very human. Like it feels so human, which adds to the dread of it all.
It brings me like there's a lot of despair.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, at some points you want to help them, but you can't do anything about it, you know?
Yeah.
Then, you know, the story goes from you trying to, like, figure out ways to escape, for you trying to figure out ways to get into contact, and then, like, things start, you know, failing, right? And once things fail, then everything will just, you know, everything's gone to shit, but at least you have hope, right? If you keep everything, you know, running, because you're the electrician, you're the guy who runs things, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, Finley's maintenance, so she's also, like, the person, like, keeping everything standing. And so, like, you're trying to work with everyone, not to escape anymore, but just to preserve yourself.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's not about, like, escaping, it's about preserving your life.
Yeah, because at, like, one point it shifts from escape, then it shifts to making sure the oil rig won't sink.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, possibly calling a rescue boat, and then it just continues changing as things go on. But I feel throughout the game, every character's reaction feels very real. It feels like how people would actually react in that situation.
Yeah, it's like, what do we do? We're doing this. That's not working out. Let's, like, you know, pivot. There's a lot of pivoting. there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of like trying to do whatever you can in that situation
To survive.
just to survive. Yeah. Which you know, the whole time I was like in it, I was feeling it. I was so stressed out, but also, you know, calm.
Oh, I know. Like, it just it sets the mood so well throughout the game. Like, it's up there for my favorites with
It's
what
like
the story it tells. Because throughout all this, you're getting flashes into Kaz's like how he got there and about his family and about his wife.
Because the whole time he's like thinking about his family. He's thinking about how he'll get out, kind of thing, right? He's thinking about like, you know, just like how will I get back to my family, right?
Yeah, and that's like what's. Oh.
Yeah. No, you give her.
No, I was saying like that's what's giving him hope. That's what's fueling him to continue moving forward. Is getting back to his family.
And you know, in situations like that, because like there's a lot of like death going on around you. I remember at one point, you know, you pick up the phone and it's one of your coworkers, and he's like, the water is rising.
Oh,
like,
Brody.
Just in the, not even Brody, just like
Scooby,
some other guy, Scooby, and you know, like and then you hear him like, you know, panicking, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And you just have to you just have to hang up that phone and keep going. There's a couple of times where, you know, Kaz, the main character, does like break down a bit, but you know, during everything, because you know he has stuff to do to try to keep on keeping on,
he pushes forward instead of processing what happened.
Right? And so like in all of this like turmoil, there's a lot of deaths, you know, he can't really grieve or process that, you know, some of his coworkers are these flesh monsters because they're after him right now, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it isn't until like almost the end that, you know, he breaks down twice.
Yes.
And you know, that feeling of like that buildup of emotion during it, because you know you're trying to keep it together, I also really appreciated that.
Oh, I know. Like, it's it does it so well. Like, near the end of the game, the first moment he truly breaks down is when he finally makes it to Roy, but he's too little too late. Roy didn't have his insulin and passed away, sadly. And he finds Roy, and that's when he starts breaking down and like realizes the full truth of what is going on and how hopeless it is. And how it was a lot. I cried so hard when that scene happened.
What really, I think, kind of like punched me in the face about Roy's death is that it wasn't because he turned into a monster or anything.
No.
It wasn't because of any of the flesh stuff. Like, he was still all intact. He was, you know, he
was
seemed
still human.
Yeah, he seemed peaceful even where he was. But just the fact, because like it really pissed me off, because it's just like his unit was just like right down the hall, like, you know, like that's where his insulin was in his cabin.
Yeah, there was actually, you could grab it as an achievement, I believe. I grabbed it, but you can't save him no matter what.
Yeah, because by the time that you grab it, he's already up there.
Yeah, which the sadder part is there's a point in the game, like just before you try and make it to Roy for the last time, that like he's on the phone and he's freaking out because he hasn't had his insulin. And I think right after that call is when he died. So no matter how fast you tried to get there, right after that call, he was gone. Because he was dead right beside the phone, and the phone was right in his hand.
Oh man.
So directly after that call, he passed away.
Because there was so many times during the game. There was so many times that I just, like, it just kind of, like, popped in my head, right? It's just like, if the game would allow me, I want to just go get my buddy.
I
as
know!
insulin,
I
right?
know! But, like, the thing with that is Kaz was given so many other tasks. Kaz had many other things on his mind, and Roy already said he'd handle trying getting the insulin, so that wasn't on his mind at the moment.
I know. Like, in that, because, you know, they were, like, best friends, so to speak,
Yeah.
right? Let's say that you were diabetic, and you needed your insulin, kind of thing, in a very stressful situation. Like, I had my tasks to do.
Yeah.
Me, being the person that I am, would put aside all of those tasks just knowing that your insulin was just, like, right across the hall, right?
Yeah. The thing
And
with
the
this,
fact that... Yeah, the fact that I couldn't do that, and the fact that, you know, even though it was right there, the fact that he passed away like that, it made me...
I know.
So upset.
I know. But, like, the fact that once he heard how much Roy was struggling, and instantly put aside any rescue attempt, because Finley and Brody are like, oh, no, you have to do this, and he's like, no, I need to go back for Roy.
I know.
Just showed how strong their bond was.
It was like one of those things where it's just like, I wish this could, like, you know, I could have just, like, been like, no, and just did my thing for my buddy sooner.
Oh,
but I do
know.
understand that, like, we had other things going on, and he did say that he would handle it himself.
He did.
Man. And so, yeah, that's, like, the first breakdown you have, because it's just like, while you were, like, keeping it together and doing all of these things to preserve everyone on there, and, like, you know, trying so hard, your buddy ends up, like, you know, passing away.
Yeah, I cried so hard when he declared, he's like, I love this big man, god damn it. I'm like, ah! No!
At that point, at that point, the game did such a good job of, like, you know, just making me upset.
Yeah.
And just dreading everything, and, like, me losing hope. That was the part where I've lost all hope.
Oh, I feel you. Like, at that point, after that happened, I realized there was not gonna be a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like, I realized at that point they were not going to get off this.
Yeah. I sat there, and I was upset, and I lost all hope. And that, for me, ooh, so good in a horror game.
Yeah,
like,
the dread. Even, like, Kaz started to lose hope after that point. Because right after he got on the phone with Finley, and just how he was acting so different like that. Like, he did not have hope anymore.
And then, of course, you know, because there's still Brody and Finley.
He has to push on.
Keep on keeping on. Just as he's been doing this entire time. And literally, like, right after that is when our call to Brody happens.
Oh my god, I cried at that too.
And, you know, it's just like, Brody's like, this is it. I did my part in trying to preserve everything. You know, like, Brody on the phone understood that he was going to die.
He did.
And he accepted it, and he's just like, I did my job. And then it was just us and Finley.
And it was us talking. The fact that we were talking with Brody on the phone, trying to calm him down as he was slowly about to drown, was the worst. Because you're sitting there and it's like, any second, he's going to die.
Right? And you're just, you know, you're just talking with a dead man.
Yeah, and he knows he's gonna die, because... Oh...
Keeping him company in your final moments, you know?
The part when he was saying, like, oh, you should go here, the water's so beautiful, so clear. I think in his final moments, he was succumbing to the visions that the entity was giving off.
So, yeah, and then, like, the whole time, you know, we are getting these, like, visions, and he's saying these things.
Yeah.
And then Finley kind of like talks to us, and she's like, what does it make you hear? What does it make you see? What does it make you feel? Kind of thing. She understands that something has infected everything, right?
Yeah.
It's infected her, it's infected me,
Everyone.
Like, and then everyone else here is already like this, is already like one with whatever has infected.
Or dead.
Or dead, It's already affected every single person in the crew. And she understands that, well, shit. There is no happy ending. You're not getting out of this unscathed. You're already affected by it. Same with me.
Nobody can leave.
I'm going to just destroy everything, right?
Yeah. So
she goes off with the lighter that we gave her at the beginning of the game, and she, we're trying to stop her. We're still desperate. We still have a family to get back home to. We still, Yeah. But she, what she said made sense. She ends up getting crushed because the tremors that are still destroying the rig, the rig is still deteriorating, and it will just keep deteriorating until it's either, in the ocean, or, somebody comes by and the infection just spreads with that person, kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she gets crushed by a whole bunch of debris because of the tremors, and she gives us the lighter that we gave her at the beginning of the game, and she's like, that we can't let this.
We can't get this to the mainland. If this goes to the mainland, everything we love, everything, is over.
And so we go into this.
The center
we go into
of it
the epicenter. That's the word that I've been looking for this entire epicenter of this entire thing. Like the drill where it all started. This big fleshy tower. The ocean is choppy. The atmosphere is fantastic.
Oh my god, is it ever? It really sets the mood.
There's a bunch of dread because, everything is cloudy, stormy, choppy, and then there's this big, huge, beautiful, fleshy thing.
Yeah, disgustingly beautiful.
Yeah, and we walk into it, and we make the decision, we're still thinking about our family at the end. But, now we're not thinking about, what we are going to do, how we are going to, fix everything. We're not thinking about that. We're just thinking about protecting our family. And he throws, Kaz throws the lighter into the rig and, ends everything. And I was devastated.
Oh, I know, I cried. And then the whole, light thing lets him swim, the swimming light thing, that's his life flashing before his eyes, before he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Which I cried so hard when that was happening, because, you see, how he met his wife, when they had their first kid, when, everything, every important moment, their wedding day.
Yeah.
You hear them, and then all of a sudden you're in his room, and you look around, and Suze is asleep, your wife's asleep. And you look around, there's pictures, there's drawings from your kids, and then you open the door, and you say, I'll see you at Christmas. And that's the moment Kaz left for his job at the oil rig.
Yeah.
But then it opens up on an ocean to Suze, writing a letter to you, and saying that things could work out, and that she misses you and loves you and hopes Roy's taking care of you. And that's how it ends.
Really punches me in the gut.
Oh my god. I've played it before, but the second time I cried just as hard. So
I feel like media that makes me cry, usually when I watch it again, it like doubles down.
oh, I know, because then you know everything that happens, but it still hits. Like, oh, that ending, the music that plays at the end of the game is so beautiful, but so emotional, because, like, what really bothers me is she will never know. She will never know.
She'll never know that, like, what you have gone through and what you have done and what you have, like, you know, you sacrificed yourself for her.
Yes,
And, you know,
she'll
you
never
loved
know.
her so much.
And that, like, you were literally fighting to get back to her. She'll never know. All she knows is you're gone, and that's it.
Right? You caused some ruckus, tried to escape the ruckus by going to the rig, and you darn got yourself blown up.
Because nobody will ever know what truly happened.
For real. And, you know, another thing that makes me feel like, ooh,
Yeah.
you know, in good, like, horrors, especially ones that, like, try to make you, like, lose all hope, is when, you know, at some point in the story, it's just like everything that you did was kind of for nothing.
Yeah, this was like one of those games, because when you hit that thing, when they hit the thing with the drill, it's already over. You can't get off.
Yeah, right? And so all that struggling and stuff
Was for naught.
You know? Oh,
Oh.
I have so many feelings.
Oh, I know. It's such a good game. It's definitely up there for some of my favorites.
Yeah.
The storytelling in it is incredible. The atmosphere, also incredible. I like the mutant creatures. They're very cool.
They are very cool.
They are cool. Like, there's just so much to talk about with this game. I love it. I'm glad I made you play it.
Thank you. Thank you for making me play it. Thank you for doing this podcast with me about these things that we have just reviewed. This is our first one, and I'm very satisfied with it. We will only make things even better from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Try our best with our podcast.
We still gotta rate this.
Are you ready to rate this?
Oh my god. I think I am.
Okay. So, for the grotesque imagery, out of 5.
Out of 5? Like, I would say because, like, the atmosphere has a lot of that fleshiness, and then the actual, like, body horror creatures, I would say 4.5.
See,
or actually
because
4.
it's not for me myself, because it's so integral, like, to everything. It is the plot, it is the atmosphere.
Yeah, because you see the fleshy growths everywhere.
It's intertwined with everything, and because there's so much of it. Like, this is what the game is, like, just like a lot of it. I'm going to give it a 5 for myself.
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm changing my back to a 4.5.
Yeah. Grotesque imagery doesn't have to be disgusting. In fact, it was quite beautiful and artistic in this game. But since, like, it's in every corner, and you see, like, everything from, like, guts to faces growing out of walls to just a whole bunch of eyes everywhere to whatever those fin-looking things were.
Yeah, I changed my mind. 5. I keep changing my mind, but sorry, it's a good game. 5 out of 5 for the grotesque.
Yeah, so I'm going to give that a 5. For the psychological aspect,
my god. I have to give it a high rating, because that's, like, a big part, because, like, it builds up the hope, and then it takes it away, and then, like, it just doesn't. I don't think it's, like, super psychological. Actually, no, it is. I think for this, I would give it a 4.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. It is very good. As I said before, I really love it when there's like a big build-up, because it's like, you know, it helps me get like this like whole like emotional like breath of fresh air. It's like a big like squeeze of the lungs before I get to take a big breath, right? So like the build up and the like the kind of release, and then also at the end the like kind of just acceptance that you have to feel.
Yeah, like acceptance for the scenario and that there's no hope.
Right. There's a lot of like just like trying to persevere, and then that whole like kind of like you can't, it doesn't matter, a whole bunch of despair, you know, that kind of like, and then just kind of accepting that. Very good. I'm giving it a 4.
All right.
Violence. There's not a lot of violence.
Not really. I mean, there's a little bit, like with like Inez being dragged away. Not really. You don't really see him die. Like there's not a lot of violence. I would probably just say like a 2.
Yeah, like a 2.
A 2.
There's not even like a punch, man.
No.
Like there's not a lot of violence in here.
Yeah, I'll say 2 for that.
Suspense.
Oh yeah, there's suspense.
I've kind of also put my rating with suspense with the rating for psychological, just because of like, as I said, like the buildup of it.
Yeah. I will say 4.
Yeah, me too. Jump scares, there weren't many.
Oh no, there was quite a bit.
Like, it wasn't just like, bah, in your face.
No, there were some, but like, it
some.
was added on to a chase scene or something like that. I will give jump scares, like, I think I would give them a 4.
Yeah. I would give it like a 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because, like, for the jump scares, there was always like, it wasn't just like, bam in your face kind of thing, right? It was more like, there's a build-up, you kind of get a...
Yeah, that's true.
And then, you know, you get like kind of a... like tension after that as well.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
There's always like there's a tension before and after, and it wasn't all like kind of like, well bam in your face, well bam in your face, well bam in your face, well bam. And they weren't like, it wasn't too much is what I'm saying.
No, it wasn't too much at all.
But yeah, there were jump scares, and I did scream a couple of times, as you did see in that compilation.
No, I feel like they had the perfect amount of jump scares, where it wasn't too much. They add a lot more to the horror than jump scares, so I'm perfectly fine with that.
Right. But it also, you know, none of them were like super impressive jump scares that like will like absolutely make me shrill scream, which I have only ever done twice, by the way. I've only screamed at the top of my lungs twice ever, which you can confirm.
I don't know, some of those screams in the clip reel were...
I don't know what you're talking. Just twice ever in my entire life. I've never been scared.
Sure.
The next category.
Camp comedy.
Yeah, camp or comedy. There was not really. It's not really a comedic kind of like horror.
I mean, there was funny banter in the beginning between Roy and Kaz, and like the part when like you meet Roy in the kitchen. There's some funny banter in the beginning. That's about it.
But this isn't one of those like horrors that is like for
no
like, shits and giggles sake, right? Some horror movies are for like shits and giggles sake, or like games, but this one is not. It is very emotional.
No, so I think for that I would give like a 0.
Atmosphere.
The atmosphere was so good. I think I'm giving that a solid 5. They really did well with the atmosphere.
For real. That's what I think we were both most impressed about, because, you know, I said that, like, I was in awe a lot of the time.
Like, they did so good with the atmosphere. They cooked.
It was either, like, I was in awe and I was like, whoa. This thing that is supposed to be grotesque, I'm finding, like, beautiful, which I feel like whatever it was, like, people were, like, drawn to it, because it also, like, you know, gave you happy, like, memories and thoughts and feelings kind of thing. I feel like it's almost like a luring entity.
Yeah, because remember when Kaz first sees it, he was, like, drawn to it almost and was staring at it, and Douglas yelled at him to not go near it and don't look at it.
It's like, come on, like, we have stuff to do.
It's like, stay away from that.
So yeah, atmosphere was really good.
Yeah.
Plot writing?
5. No questions. 5 out of 5. I feel the story was very well told.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Oh.
Just cause I'm stingy.
No, like, I feel like it was so well written. Like, it hit the emotional beats it needed to. It, like, the story, I was invested the whole way through.
Oh boy.
So I love it.
Yeah. And then finally, the overall rating.
Alright, you can go first.
Ooh. This, like, it's like... my heart wants to give it a 5 out of 5, but I'm going to say 4.5.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same. It is a very incredible game, though. Like, the story it tells, like, it feels like I said earlier, like, all the people in it, like, their reactions feel very human. They don't, like, I've played a lot of horror games, and some, like, decisions of the character you play are the stupidest decisions ever. I never felt that once for Kaz. I felt his decisions made sense.
Like, even if they were, you know, risky, or even if it wasn't, like, even if they, like, weren't his decisions to make and he was just being told to do, he knew that he had a job to do, and he knew that he had to try to keep pushing on. And, you know, like, yeah.
I also
still
like...
have a lot to say.
Oh, I still like how he cusses so much. Can relate.
I mean, he's Scottish and we're Canadian. We say that, you know.
I know, like, I've never had a horror MC swear as much as he did throughout a game I was playing. It was great.
I mean, okay, so, like, the whole time, when he was, like, just being himself, doing his thing, I was like, that's how I talk to my work buddies all the time.
True.
That's how I talk when I'm, like, with Wishy, and we're just slinging, like, we're just, you know, just saying the F-bomb, like, 30 times in a sentence. Because, you know, it's just how we talk.
Oh my god. Well, I love Kaz as a main character in a horror game. Because like I said,
relatable.
I've played many, but I think he's one of my favorites.
He was just a man.
He was just a lad. Oh, no, I love the game. I love it so much. 4.5 is good.
Yeah, 4.5. There we go. That's all. That's everything that we had to rate and review and, you know, talk about when it came to horror.
Yeah.
For this stream. I'm so happy that we got to talk about these things and we got to do our podcast. I was very nervous at the beginning. I was very nervous that I would not know what to say, or I would stumble a lot, or, you know, it would be very chaotic. A few times while we were talking, we kind of got a little bit chaotic, but not to the point where I was nervous about.
Oh no, me neither. Once we started going, I felt a lot better about it, because I was also very nervous, and I was like, oh man, what if I, like, freeze up and not say anything? we had a lot to talk about.
I
About
feel
each
like
topic.
we still have a lot of feelings about all of these.
Yes.
But now we open to chat. Any questions, comments, or if anyone wants to say, you know, something that, you know, pertains to pertains to everything, or to recommend more body horror, I would be really appreciative of that. Otherwise, we'll go and talk about next month's VisceRate schedule.
Yeah, but before we do, hydrate!
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. We've been talking a lot.
We've been yapping for 3 hours straight.
I would say that's impressive, but, you know, we're streamers.
Yeah, I yap for 3 hours straight on the daily.
I love how when I hydrate, I, like...
You go...
I do the whole Macarena, but backwards and upside down.
But anyways, yes, any questions, any recommendations, otherwise we will mention what we are going to be watching / playing for next month.
Aw, hell yeah. So many feelings, Wishy.
I know.
I love how talking about these things also just makes me, like, emotionally raw, because, like, I can feel the stress.
Oh, I know!
About, like,
I actually
about,
started...
like, what we've talked about.
I started tearing up when I was talking about the ending of Still Wakes the Deep.
Right? That's what we love about the media that we watch and play. We are, like,
What?
I'm sorry, I got really distracted by
The chat message?
the chat message.
I was like, hello?
Muscular Wishy. We need muscular Wishy.
Muscular Wishy when?
But we're, you know, we're feeling a whole bunch of emotions. We're getting really wrapped up in these things, you know. We are building up, like, the stress that needed to be built in order to, like, for these stories to be told to us. And that stress really kind of, like drills it into our, like, minds, you know? Drills it into our brains.
Yeah.
And just the fact that while looking back on the media that we have watched or played, and we're still, like, feeling that, fantastic.
I know.
Beautiful, great.
Because, like, those stories that we watched unfold with the movies and the game, like, that's kind of what they're going for. That is exactly what they're going for you to feel, for you to think about it like we are, and talk about it.
For real. I'm very happy. Thank you, Wishy.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about what we're doing?
Alright. So next month, you know, February, Valentine's. So we are doing horror media relating to romance next month. So
Wahoo!
for the anime we are going to be watching, we're going to watch Sankaria Undying Love. Which is like a zombie anime. The
Very
game we
excited.
will be playing is Homicipher, which will be dating horror men. And the movie, which Fern suggested, is The Shape
I don't
of
remember.
Water.
Oh wait, I do remember. Bro, we gotta watch The Shape of Water for Valentine's Day.
Bro,
Okay,
I
have a lot to say.
scream. I will scream when we're watching it. I've never seen it. But so that's the 3 things we will be reviewing for next month.
There's gonna be a lot of monster fuckery going on.
Well, yes. So, zombie thing, horror, scary men, and Fishman. Baha!
Man, I love me some Fishman.
I love me some Fishman. But
Thank
that's...
you so much.
Thank you. This was a
Thank you.
blast. I like yapping about things. It's my favorite
It's good to
activity.
Yapping? I know yapping was your favorite activity.
Hey! How dare you?
This has been a successful first episode. Thank you for everyone who has come by. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to continue doing this. I am extremely happy right now.
Oh, me too. Me too. I feel like it went great. It was a great time.
Thank you so much. We will be doing this kind of at whenever the last Wednesday of the month is.
Yeah, next month it might need to be a different day of the week,
Or a
but we
different
will
day of
see.
the week. We shall see.
But yeah, end of each month-ish. We will
Yeah,
announce when we decide on a day.
End week of each month.
Yes.
We'll see you in a month's time with all of those beautiful romantic horrors. Thank you for the background music. That makes me so happy. And love you guys. We'll find somebody to raid.
Well, I already got somebody to raid, and it is Nico! Nico's working on some art.
Hell yeah.
So, we are gonna go send the raid over to Nico. So the raid message is... Well, actually, should we have a different raid message for today? Bird?
Man, now I gotta think about it.
VisceRate?
Yeah, VisceRate. Oh my god, you're so smart.
I know. Yeah, we'll do VisceRate.
VisceRate, let's go.
Oh damn, I can't spell for she. VisceRate. My emotes, Fern's emotes if you're sub to us, or either or whichever you see fit. But yeah, the raid message is VisceRate.
Why you gotta use that one?
It's the only one I have!
That's fair, I'm sorry.
But anyways, thank you everyone for stopping on by and hearing us yap. We are now gonna go send the raid over to Nico. Nico's doing art things, so make sure to show her some love. And we will see you guys next time. Bye for now.